Let's see if so. Looks like it is. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Alright, I definitely have to change the thumbnail, but I'm not sure why it was stuck on that. What's up, JP? Testing complete. Okay. Set something up on my new laptop. I'm trying to set up OBS. Let's see. Messages. And so that way I can play other games on this. So I guess technically I could be playing PalWorld right now. I'm just kind of curious if this will transfer over. But we're just going to fart around with this a little bit first. What's up, Mr. Carey? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. I'm sitting in my comfortable recliner with this other screen here, guys, so it's not really the best quality camera. Just doing a test run here. I was listening to some music and drying off. Just took a hot shower. Ooh, hot showers are the best. I concur. Alright, let's go. Alright, let's get some games in here.
What an adventure! You're well on your way to being a great planeswalker.
So how's the audio coming through? Does it sound a little bit better than my normal, or kind of badly? Or just need whatever feedback I can get here. Good. Okay. 5x5. Okay. Awesome. 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 Sounds good to you? Okay. It's not quite my other quality, but we'll get there. We shall get there. Hopefully it doesn't peak too much if I cough or something like that. Alright, it's more mana. More bass sounding, which is fine by me. Yeah, I did do some remixing to it, but it is the onboard PC microphone, so it's not going to be great quality. That's good. Got another mana, that helps. Okay. Alright, I want to use it. Okay. Do this. Go ahead and lock. Then do 2. Clear the board. Go ahead and swing for 3. Alright, here we go. Perfect. Great timing. This Legend of Young Chan. Very, very handy. I really like it. Exiles cards that are mana value 3. Looks like our opponent's having trouble with mana, so I'm kind of glad I got rid of spiders there. We're gonna say this. Alright, opponent has had enough and decides to yield. Let me make sure I hit the like button and say hi to you guys. Hey y'all. This is my generally specific account. My wife is playing a video game right now, right next to me, so she is convalescing, and I believe she's playing Ashes of Creation, which is a game I'm probably going to start playing here soon.
You're well on your way to being a great planeswalker. You got a quest. If you complete it, you'll get a reward. Go here when
this is a deck I've been working on with my free-to-play account. You don't have to spend a crazy amount of money. You don't have to spend any money on this game, actually. Free-to-play. King Budo, good to see you. What did you see? There you are. Missed you. Hope everyone's doing well. We got 7 people watching. That's kind of cool. Alright. Put your scry in. I'll leave that on top. Nice early board clear. Go into this one next. There are lands that come in play tap it first. Maybe the opponent will build up a couple 2 and 3 castings. Be able to clear it. Do a board sweep. He's got blue and white, so he might have some counter magic. Hit that like button as you enter the room. Yap and yap some more. Hey, what's up, Miss Dawn? Wait, I gotta make Dawn a mod over here. Here. I haven't been on this in so long. Yep. Now. I'm gonna gain some life. Hit 2 creatures. Go ahead. Have a little bit of fun here. Go ahead and station these up. This will tap to create another artifact. How you doing, Miss Dawn? Oh, thank you. To have mods in here that I know I can trust and will look out for the best for the channel. Trying to stifle some yawns. Seems like months since you've been on so far. Yeah, it has been. It's having the new computer and trying to be able to take a rest and stuff. Like I said, over here I'm just kind of chilling here. This is not a very good quality. This is my pillow behind my neck. I'm surrounded by pillows in my recliner, so this is where I would just chill in my recliner in front of the big screen TV. This is my old man relaxation situation happens here. So. Y'all don't need to see my ugly mug too much here, do you? Like I said, I got a poor quality, like just the regular webcam on here, so it's nothing great. Yeah, not much to see really. Oh, goodness gracious. Hmm. Let's do this. Yeah, I think it might be a bit of a shot. See what happens. Might counter it. Counter it. Be able to get like a token out of that, a little bit more health back, and fair enough. All right. See if my opponent figures this out. Sometimes you can get lucky and get two. Sometimes I'll click on the wrong one. Nice. Just screwed himself right there. Listen to your comments and watch the game. Alright, fair enough. Let's decline because I have the card advantage right now. Go ahead and throw down this guy. Go ahead and try to level this up. I think we're going to have leftover beef stew. GS used to multitask with gaming and also playing a video of things going on in the world. Yes, I haven't set that up yet, actually. That's actually probably a good point. So I could, you know what? Maybe that's something I'll do right here. Let me see. Let me see something real quick. I have not set that up yet. There's live streaming. Go here. Get rid of that. Yeah, it says I'm supposed to be playing PalWorld, but I'm not playing PalWorld currently.
Tomorrow at 3.
All right. That's going to take me a little bit of time to set something like that up, so probably not going to do that right now. I just kind of wanted to get started and kind of play some Magic the Gathering and chill and make sure I had it all set up. And so I do. So I think I'm going to hold off on doing anything too crazy. Hey, what's up? MC Dilligaff. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, our beef stew is melded. I think we're going to have that
well on your
for
way
dinner.
to being
Or,
a great
yeah, it's going to have that for dinner
You got
tonight.
a quest. If you complete it, you'll get a reward.
And I think tomorrow,
Go here when you're ready to
we're going to
play the
have
game.
turkey scallopini. So probably turkey scallopini with mashed potatoes and, I don't know, maybe some green beans or something. Whatever the wife is going to be interested in. Alright. Hope this isn't going to mana screw me. Excuse me. Hiccups. Put saltine crackers, crumble it in that beef stew. Oh yeah, we got oyster crackers. We do an interesting recipe with those. My wife just polished off the rest of the oyster crackers. You basically take ranch salad dressing, oil, take an oil and a ranch salad dressing, and then I'll mix it all together, and then you can add extra dill to it. So I'll do like 2.5 to 3 packets of two packages of premium oyster crackers in a container, and then I'll whisk in the oil. I'll pour in like 3 packets of the ranch powdered dressing, and I'll whisk that in there. Put in some dill weed, press that in there, and then I'll pour that over the oyster crackers and just keep mixing them every now and then. You need some more mana. Mana. Destroy non-land. Really need more mana. More mana right now. We had meatloaf 3 days ago. Good. My wife's amazing. Amazing. Alright. That's no bueno. Really need some mana though, boys. Really need some mana. Not having any mana is really starting to add up. Called it though, didn't I? It's been years since I tried pork chops. Turned out very good. We tried mashed potatoes, gravy. I think somebody had stomped here, chat. That might be getting stomped. I need another mana. Like, really bad. What's going on? If I had one more mana, I'd be good. Crazy. Call me maybe. Come on now. I gotta block this. I mean, I could have easily won this game. It's just ridiculous. No mana. Well. Hey, Just Cause, good to see you. You know what? Maybe I will look into playing a little bit of a video in the background. Excuse me. Hold on. Let me go to OBS. If I wanted to add. Would it be a display capture? Or would it be a window? I think it's a window capture, isn't it? I'm going to say YouTube. Okay. Select the window. Okay. Alright. Smaller. Okay. Go ahead and make that bigger. Go ahead and put this down here. Actually, I don't know if this is going to work, guys, so we're testing this out right now. Capture audio. Okay. Put this down here. And let's try it. Let me know if this is working.
3 p.m., millions of liberals across the country will be storming into their congressional offices. Oh my god.
I'm as mad as hell, I'm not gonna take it anymore!
I bet you are.
On January 20th, we are walking out to free America.
And walking in to remove the regime.
Or walking out of work.
I mean, like, guys, this is the way, like, as I said, this is the way I think racists feel, right? Where, like, it's another example of a girl with tarot cards who's talking about, like, fucking fighting at walking out of school. She's wearing a nose ring. I mean, it's just, it's so stereotypical. It's crazy.
Based.
Walking out of school.
We're walking out of anywhere and everywhere.
Because it's past time that we stop cooperating.
Holy fuck. Remember what I talked to you guys about, the Karen evolution chart?
So you guys can hear this, right? It's got a little echo. Okay, hold on. There we go. All right, let's see if it has echo now still.
This is a fully evolved swamp hag. This is it. You're seeing it right here.
With fascism.
Starting at 2
I
p.m.
told you.
local time, we'll start a wave of walkouts across the nation.
Send a clear message that we demand freedom from this hostile and lawless takeover of our country.
Uh-oh.
Then we'll
Yeah, so do I. So you can get rid of
start
these people.
walking in.
Congress has the power to remove a tyrant from office. It's not an option, it's their sworn duty.
So at 3 p.m., we'll start walking in to local congressional offices to demand an adventure.
All right, so I
Well on
fixed
your
the
way
echo.
to
Hey,
being
Wise
a
Wolf,
great
good to see you.
planeswalker.
Wise Wolf Gaming. Oh, hello.
You've got a quest. If you complete it,
All right,
you'll get a
let
reward.
me turn this down.
Go
I'm going to
here
turn the
when
music
you're
off.
ready to play a
I'll just
game.
have a little bit of game sound going here so you can hear it. Should be. Let me know if the game sound is a little too overdone.
And impeachment and removal.
We are
I do apologize because I know the thumbnail said PalWorld, but it's still set to the old thumbnail because I'm doing this on a new computer. And I'm trying to get it all set up, so I do apologize for the, maybe I'll just switch over to PalWorld or something.
peacefully demanding
The Karen Inquisition. Oh my god.
that our representatives file their own articles of impeachment against Trump and
Yeah.
senior Trump officials.
And we are demanding that they force a vote.
Donald Trump has committed tyranny and obstruction of justice.
Has
And
committed
turning
tyranny.
ICE into a paramilitary force is an
Uh-huh.
act of treason.
Wow.
On January 20th, we are
No, it's
You know, it's the strangest thing to me. I don't know. I'm not even sure how to explain it. It's just like this break with reality that we're currently dealing with. I don't know. Here, I'll just keep my face in here. I guess it'll be a little less disconnected. But you know, and this is something I do want to have a conversation with Finkel about this at some point in time, because you know, and I think to myself, how much of this is us living in two different parallel worlds? You know, when I hear the news or when I watch shows like this, I see the way Asmongold reacts to things that are happening on the world stage, and I think to myself, yeah, these are pretty base takes. I myself, I identify as a Christian. Asmongold, I believe, is like an anarchist, atheist, kind of pragmatist, realist. I don't know. I'm not sure what he would call himself, but I tend to agree with a lot of his takes. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And but then I hear somebody that I'm very fond of, like for instance, we know him as Finkel or Steve Nolan, and who I call a personal real life friend now. And I think to myself, man, am I just seeing things wrong? Is he seeing the reality of the world and I'm seeing a distortion? Or is he seeing a distortion and I'm seeing a reality? These are the things that really, you know, that really, really plague my mind sometimes. And that's why I try not to be too strong about things, in case I'm wrong.
not. That's like, okay.
telling our congressional officials that it is their duty right now to impeach, convict, and remove.
Impeach, convict, and remove. Impeach, convict, and remove.
Jesus Christ.
Post your plans to join
I
the
cannot wait to watch this tomorrow. Oh my god. Tomorrow is going to be amazing. This is insane.
Walkout.
It's going to be a good day.
Using the hashtags
Yeah, I noticed that, Mr. Perry. Yeah, some of that AI stuff is really dystopian to me, man. I'm not gonna lie. Some of it, I'm just kind of like, what in the world am I watching, brother? What am I watching right now? But yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny that the thing you prayed for was people to get along, content creators to get along, and myself, Finkel, was the only birthday wish that came true for you, and I'm glad I could be a part of it. I also try to seek peace above all things when possible.
free America and remove the regime.
And document your visits on the 20th.
I think I'm going to take these out. I'm going to take my out of this, the Scornful Striker, because it doesn't really fit. I've got a lot of non-creature things. So I'm going to have to take the Scornful Striker out of my deck.
With those
Not
hashtags
fitting.
so that we can multiply the movement. Find your local congressional office, sign up and receive articles of impeachment, and find all the information you need at removetheregime.com. We'll see you on January 20th.
We'll see you on.
She's
This is 2 games in a row where I've been hurt for mana. I've got all the answers in my hand. I'm not getting any dang mana. Very, very frustrating. Very, very, very frustrating. Look at, I got a sweep the board right here. Just ridiculous at this point in time.
picking tarot cards. Oh my god. Man. These people are actually scary. They're the ones that say get in a train before you're ever seen again. Oh no, they'd kill you if they could. They would. They'd kill you if you could. And
I mean, this sounds familiar. I've said this before. If a lot of these people could be sitting in a room with a closed door and they could just push a button and that which they perceive to be their enemy would be eliminated, and they wouldn't get in trouble for it, they would push that button in a heartbeat. They wouldn't hesitate. They would push it and push it and push it.
And that's why it's important to make sure they don't get power. It is. It's very important to make sure that that doesn't happen. Because if they do, then they'll do whatever they can. Like whatever the extent is that they can operate at, they will do that.
All right, let's tune this deck up just a wee bit. We're gonna take Mai out. But not a real big loss because they didn't really have, what is this? Semi-common. Yeah, I think we'll get one more of these in here. We'll go ahead and craft it. A little bit more removal. Let's roll with this. Actually, you know what? No. Oh, nope, we don't have that. We do have an extra one of those. Do you need to... Yeah, we'll stay with that. I do need some cheap removal while I'm trying to build up. Alright, let's try this. Let's see if that helps out the deck a bit.
What an adventure.
Let's try to climb the ladder.
Well on your way to being
Finkel is a good
great
guy, and he's a good person. Yeah, I think he's a very good person. I really, really do. And that's why I try to be very careful. You know, and I do want to say that I love my country, and I don't like the direction my country is going at all. I feel like it's broken by design. I think it's being broken on purpose. I think it's being dashed across the rocks, and I don't like it.
We'll see you on January 20th.
We'll see you on January 20th.
All right.
Thank you for standing up for our democracy.
We can all do this.
It's not a democracy, it's a republic, and I know that's a sticking point for, you know, a lot of people don't like it that they call it a democracy. It is a republic. It's a constitutional republic with a lot of democratic underpinnings. That I can't deny. So let's not call it something that it actually is.
Time.
It's time. Oh god. So this is how they get gassed up on TikTok and then they cause a bunch of problems. And I think that if things continue getting worse, where they are kind of getting worse, you are probably going to see the military be brought in. Especially with them like running around trying to like identify and attack random people. Like it's really, really bad.
The Pentagon is reportedly preparing to deploy 1,500 soldiers.
Sorry guys, Shadows, he's making a lot of noise right now, so you might hear him. I don't have the noise gate, so you might hear him kind of whining in the background. He's laying down looking at it. It is probably getting close time for him to eat. That's it.
Soldiers to Minnesota as protesters continue to cause chaos for immigration agents in the state.
Our own Matt Finn joins us live from Minneapolis.
Thank God.
With
How's the game sound? Is it a little too loud with the... You know what, I'll turn it down a little bit. I don't want it getting with the video. Let's go a little bit lower. There we go. Let's try that.
all those details. Matt, good morning.
Yeah, finally.
Good morning to you, Rachel. Well, we're entering week 3 of the unrest here in Minnesota, and the clashes between protesters and law enforcement are showing no signs of slowing down.
Look at them all.
I mean, this is the new Chaz. This is the new BLM. This is the new Antifa. Stop. That's exactly what this is. Don't be mistaken, guys. Let's do this. Let's get rid of that one.
Another tense scene Saturday outside the federal ICE facility. Law enforcement holding the line against angry protesters.
Kind of funny. He's pretty much quiet the entire time, but when I start talking, when I'm live streaming, he wants to interact with me because he thinks I'm talking to him. So it's just kind of funny. Go ahead and decline that. We don't want to give any kind of... We already have a pretty good card advantage right now. Board advantage. Go ahead and keep that on top.
Who can be heard screaming, "Kill yourself," and "Un-American" to officers. The Washington Post reporting about 1,500 active duty soldiers preparing to possibly make their way here if more violence escalates. And Governor Tim Walz also mobilized the Minnesota National Guard yesterday. The Guard staged to support local law enforcement if needed, and says it's ready to respond to locations across.
I don't want her to let out a real loud fart or something. You know? It's pretty uncouth. It's a lie from the pit of hell. My wife, we all know that women, they toot or they fluff. They don't fart like men. We all know that. They don't.
The metro area. Now, yesterday, protests continued outside the ICE detention center, and there was also a violent clash between counter-protesters at City Hall. President Trump has warned that he may use the Insurrection Act here in Minnesota, which would allow the federal...
That's what they have to do. Like, I don't know why it's taken so long. I think every day that it doesn't happen, it just makes him look worse. And I'm shocked that it hasn't happened by now. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Government to use military troops to bring calm. Meanwhile, a statewide day of action is scheduled for this Friday. Activists are asking people not to attend work, school, or make purchases. And the St. Paul Federation of Educators is also asking people to participate in that day of action Friday. Back to you guys in New York.
All right, Matt Finn, live force in Minneapolis.
Jesus.
Matt, thank you. It's just continuing to ramp up and up and up. And it's important as we continue to cover this story to remember how we got here. The reckless open border policies of Joe Biden led to...
Yeah, it is kind of crazy that none of this would have happened if they had just basically detained these guys whenever they got arrested.
This guy, really like this card too, the Rise of Sozin. I basically have the, in this deck, I've got the Legend of Zhang Jin and the Rise of Sojin in here. It's a very nice combo.
Like, it's this entire conflict and everything about this is, like, so unnecessary.
The criminal...
Miss Carey says, my wife has IBS irritable bowel syndrome. She is a 2-time cancer survivor. Well, hallelujah. Praise the Lord. And sorry about the IBS, though.
I don't even know why.
Violent, illegal alien criminals.
It's insane.
That ICE has gone into places like Minneapolis, a sanctuary city, to clean them up. And you had, yesterday, Stephen Miller, Deputy Chief of Staff, really railing on Minnesota's leaders, accusing them of aiding and abetting anti-ICE violence. Watch this.
Oh, here we go.
These are acts of insurrection against the laws of the United States and against the sovereignty of the United States. Foreign illegal aliens who broke into this country, who then raped children, who committed human trafficking, sex trafficking, drug trafficking. Protected, shielded, sheltered.
Yeah, I don't really understand why they don't seem to care about all the people that have been unalived by these illegal immigrants. Not the exact ones, obviously, but you know, there seems to be a lack of care and a lack of concern that I find to be very, very disturbing. Doesn't make sense. Really, really doesn't make sense. And I want to know why. I want to know why we put so much care on people that don't really have a right to be here, that have cut in line purposefully, and that don't show enough respect to our country. You know? I don't know. I just, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Coddled, defended at every level by the leadership in Minnesota. And then when ICE goes out to make these arrests, they unleash violent mobs to attack, assault, and impede ICE officers. And they refuse to allow the city police to protect those ICE officers in the context of their duties.
The police, some of the police have either, a lot of them, I think it was 23 of the police officers.
JP says that church protest really upset my mother and me too. They went too far, if you ask me. Yeah, I tend to agree with that. I really do. I tend to agree with that statement. Yikes, this is gonna hurt, isn't it? I won't block it.
Basically resigned from the Minnesota police force, and 18 of the 23 went to join ICE.
Skillfully aiding and abetting this violence.
But the key word they're talking about insurrection there
They
from
switched
Stephen
sides.
Miller.
I thought they were against that.
Well, and if he's
It's
talking
80
about
now?
insurrection, maybe we're going to get the Insurrection Act.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Who knows, from
Oh,
President
boy.
Trump. But I couldn't help but think, we're a day before honoring
move,
and
yeah.
celebrating the life of Dr. Martin Luther King. What was his message? Nonviolence, peaceful protests. Doesn't appear like we're seeing any of that in Minnesota.
No, not at all. It's also, there's a long history, of course, on the left of having these kind of like shock troops from, you know, these like.
Well, this
you
is what's happened is that the reason why these people do this is because they get away with it. They got away with it with the Tesla bombings. They got away with it with BLM. They got away with it with Trump. They get away with it every single time. That's the reason why they do this. It's because they can. And I think that's the problem. And like, you know, whenever you compare that to like after January 6th, you know, they went down and they tracked down every single fucking person in January 6th. They put a ton of those people in jail and they went completely scorched earth on them. But for some reason, the idea of doing it to these people is like, oh no, you can't do that. Why not? Who decided this?
Great question.
activists who will create violence, create chaos, trying to destabilize the things that the administration is trying to do, things that are wildly popular. The president has a mandate. He won. The border issue, as you brought up, was front and center.
Yeah, I know.
Democrats recognized they were on the wrong side of it. And so now what they're saying is we don't like the way you're doing it. And again, they find themselves on the side of just
this is that same retard that we saw earlier that was causing problems. Yeah, because they're louder. What they did to January 6ers was bad. That's why they can't go that hard. Well, I mean, I don't know. I think that really, I mean, here's the truth. All of those like MAGA people will never even consider doing another January 6th. And the reason why is because the first time they did it, they ruined the lives of the people that were there and they killed one of them. So the ultimate result is that January 6th happened, but it came at such a huge cost that they'll never do it again.
Kill Mar-a-Brego. They find themselves on the side of all the people that we put up on the wall last week, showing that there were murders, rapists, as Stephen Miller said, and people who committed terrible crimes, people that every parent would want off the streets. I think the political question here is, this is not talking about affordability from the Democrat side. Is this really what their voters want?
This is the reason why the Democrats fixate on this and fixate around protecting criminals is because those are the voting blocks that they need to activate in order to win elections. So what their mentality is that they want to bring in a bunch of random illegal aliens and low-income, low-skill immigrants so they can make these people dependent on social systems and then hold the social systems hostage for them to vote on them. That's the strategy, is that you basically create an entire community of people that are effectively dependent on the government, and so they have to continuously vote for you to continue that dependency. That's what's going on.
Maybe they're voters on the far left, but what
it's pretty
about
obvious.
The people in the middle? And again, another thing is Minneapolis is the home of...
Well, this deck seems to be firing off pretty nice. I think we'll get Elspeth out. That'll really, really help. I think we might pull this out, guys. We might pull this out.
Ilhan Omar, a deeply unpopular figure, and she's become front and center on this as well. So I think it all is not...
Throw in some fraud?
Yeah, exactly. She suddenly...
It's a good reason to not give up. You know, don't ever quit with the game because you never know. You could have a turnaround. It's usually... Yeah, I mean, it's a great comeback story, right?
On your way to being a great planeswalker. You got a quest.
I mean, probably technically I had no business playing that game, really. Let's see. Yeah, it's almost 4 p.m. So I did just want to test this out. I won't keep you guys too much longer, but I do need to. I'm going to probably make dinner for the wife and I. Oh, what do we got here? Oh, Laurawind Eclipse is here? Wait, what? Honey, the set is live now. The new Lorwyn set with the with all the elves and stuff. Oh, nice. Okay. I did not realize that. Yeah. I guess I'm going to be doing some of this tonight. Very nice. Very nice. All right, well, let's open up some packs, guys. What do you say? What do we have here? All right, so these are all first, obviously, because I'm not... What do we got here? We got a Curious Colossus. When this creature enters, each creature target opponent controls loses all abilities. Becomes a coward in addition to its other types and has a base power and toughness of 1/1. Oh. Okay. That'd be a nice little bounce card, you know? Or, I don't know, what do they call it? Where it shifts out, in and out. Mirror Mind Crown. This art kind of reminds me of like early Magic the Gathering art a little bit. Interesting. Interesting. As long as this equipment is attached to a creature, the first time you would create one or more tokens each turn, you may instead create that many tokens that are copies of equipped creature. Oh. Oh, interesting. Okay, I can see that in an ally deck. Only costs 2 to equip. Nice. Bloom Tender. I guess elves are pretty powerful, I guess. Elves is like the good tribal. Vivid. What is vivid? I mean, let's see. For each color among permanents you control, add 1 mana of that color. Oh, interesting. Okay. Good for multicolors. So we got here, we got an enchantment aura. That's an uncommon. Flash, enchant creature. Enchanted creature loses all abilities and is a colorless noggle with base power, toughness 1/1, loses all colors and all other. Okay. Sorry guys, getting some news from my friend Finkel. Okay. Gonna send prayers. Guys, just if you're the praying type, just send in well wishes for Finkel. I'm not going to get too specific for it at all. Just send good vibes Finkel's way. Hold on, guys. All right. Thank you, Mr. Carey. Perfect Intimidation. Choose one or both. Target opponent exiles 2 cards from their hand. Remove all counters from target creature. We have Spell Snare. Counter target spell with mana value 2. Okay. Not 2 or less, but 2. Then we have Sizzling Changeling. This is a shapeshifter. Okay, so shapeshifters are every creature type. Okay, cool. When this creature dies, exile the top card of your library until the end of your turn. You may play that card. Then we have a Shimmer Creep. It's an elemental. Menace, Vivid. When this creature enters, each opponent loses X life, and you gain X life, where X is the number of colors among permanents you control. Interesting. Keep Out. Choose one. Keep Out deals 4 damage to target tapped creature. Or destroy target enchantment. Now that's an instant. Wild Unraveling. As an additional cost to cast this spell, Blight 2 or pay 1 colorless. Counter target spell. What is Blight 2? Let's see. Blight 2 is to Blight 2, put 2 -1/-1 counters on a creature you control. Okay. So for 3 mana you can counter a spell, or for 2 mana you can counter a spell and blight one of your creatures. Alright, let's go. Where was I? All right. Rooftop percher. All right. Interesting art. Another shapeshifter for 5 mana, 3/3 flying. When this creature enters, exile up to 2 target cards from graveyards. You gain 3 life from graveyards. Okay, so and we got a wild card uncommon. Another on this one's a common. We got a gangly stompling. Okay, changeling, a 4/2 for 3 mana. That's not bad with trample. It's actually pretty good for a common. Flying. When this creature enters, surveil 1. 3/3 flyer for 4 mana with surveil 1. Not horrible. We get a flaring cinder. When this creature enters, and whenever you cast a spell with mana value 4 or greater, you may discard a card. You do draw a card. Okay. Elder Ante. When this creature enters, create a 1/1 black and red goblin creature token. And as you see, that's the creature token right there, the goblin. Right there. Alright. And we got a temporal cleansing. Convoke, which means you can tap other creatures to help cast it for 4 mana. The owner of target non-land permanent puts it into their library, second from the top or from the bottom. Rooftop percher, got another one of those. Okay. Appeal to Iridu, I guess. Convoke is, let's see, 1 or 2 target creatures each get +2/+1 until the end of turn. And then we have a Crossroads Watcher. The art's kind of meh. I don't know. I'm not really feeling the art. The art's a little, looks like a lot of AI art or something. Maybe, who even knows? Trample. Whenever another creature you control enters, this creature gets +1/+0. Then you have a Keep Out. That's the one I already read that one. Oh, no, I didn't actually. Did I? Yeah, no, I guess I didn't. So we got 2 of those, 2 Keep Outs. Okay, now we're going to continue and let's see what's in the store here. I'm not going to buy anything here. I'm just kind of curious. What's up, Wise Wolf Game? Could use Blight to kill a creature with a death rattle effect. No? Yeah, that could be pretty effective. Wait, what is going on here? What the hell? Is this broken? Uh-oh. I think I found a bug, boys and girls. Huh. Uh-oh. Yikes. Nope. I don't know what to do here now. Okay, 1 second. Let me close this down real quick. You can enjoy this for a second.
Yeah, like $30 million richer now.
Wow.
And we're uncovering all this daycare fraud. So I don't know if in the long run this is going to work. This might be their BLM.
Well, it's a great point, Rachel, because you mentioned Ilhan Omar, who is leaning hard into bringing back the abolish ICE. That has not been a winning message. And, you know, you can dislike Stephen Miller, and you can think that his rhetoric is too harsh, but factually, he's correct. The Minneapolis is protecting these illegal criminal aliens. Now, the Mayor Jacob Fry argues that they're not a sanctuary city. They have a separation ordinance. But at the end of the day, they do the same thing.
If you're not cooperating, it doesn't matter what you call it. Are you letting illegal aliens out into the community? If the answer to that is yes, then it's a problem. You can redefine it however you want. It's not the name, it's the problem.
They refused to cooperate with ICE. The White House.
Sorry about that, guys. Turn desktop audio off. Sorry. I will be right back. I gotta go feed my dog. He's kind of whining quite a bit, and I gotta go tinkle. I gotta use the little girl's room, so to speak. You hear him? He's like, yeah, I want to eat, Dad. I'll be right back. I didn't realize it was almost 4 o'clock. Meanwhile, enjoy this video, and I'll be right back. All right, buddy, hold on.
Called him out yesterday, saying Minnesota sanctuary politicians have released nearly 470 criminal illegal aliens back into American communities since President Trump took office. ICE working every single day to remove the worst of the worst criminal illegal aliens from terrorizing their state. I would just add to that, Rachel, there's also 1,360 violent illegal criminal aliens currently in custody in Minnesota jails held by authorities. And yet all ICE is saying is just hand them peacefully to us.
And the other reason why I think a lot of this happens with these politicians is because the politicians never get held accountable for it, right? Like, why can't you just, for example, charge the people that are in the government that are like making the decisions on this? Why can't you just charge them with public endangerment 470 times? Why can't you do that? I mean, I don't see the reason why you can't. Or you can just make up a new charge. I mean, it's very obvious that, like, I mean, and here's really what matters. Is it a good thing that a person is allowing 470 criminals out into the public? Obviously, the answer to that is no, right? It's clearly not. So if there isn't a rule against it, then there should be. And if you can use something that, like, is this something that somebody should be held accountable for and should face punishment for? I think the answer to that is yes. So whatever the law is doesn't really matter to me. What matters is like what the value is behind that law. And if you're doing that, fundamentally, you need to have some level of accountability, one way or another.
Don't release them to the streets. It keeps the community safer, and we don't have ICE having to make arrests at large.
We know a lot of these protesters are paid, but among these protesters,
I hate this argument that they have about the protesters being paid. I think that's so stupid. It's so pointless. It doesn't add anything. I mean, what if they're all just unemployed losers? I feel like there's a much higher probability that they're just a bunch of unemployed losers. So we know they're getting paid. I don't think they're getting paid, if you want me to be honest. I don't think that's true. I think maybe a handful of agitators might be getting paid that are inside the protests. But to say they're being paid in mass, I don't believe that. I don't think anybody has evidence for it. They're just making this up. And the problem is that you already have the winning opinion. You already have the winning side. Why are you introducing fan fiction that muddies the waters? That's the reason why I think that it's wrong.
A lot of rich Edina moms pining for their 1960s protests and their their university days. Those ladies are protected from a lot of this. Their kids are not getting crowded out in schools by illegal.
Well, they're not getting arrested either.
Aliens because they're in private schools.
Yep.
And they're living in neighborhoods that are, protected or gated.
Well, they're living in gated communities full of white people while they want to have other people live in some multicultural area whenever they don't do that themselves. What I've noticed is that a lot of the people that are the biggest advocates of multiculturalism do not live in multicultural areas. I've noticed that a lot.
They are among the paid protesters, but I do not think that they represent the common sense people. The problem in Minnesota is common sense people are cowed into silence. They're so afraid. I mean, you saw that with the crime being committed in the daycares. Lots of good people saw the corruption, but were so afraid in that political environment in Minneapolis of being called racist for calling out the corruption.
Yeah, and we'll see as we continue to cover this whether or not the really frigid temperatures will dial things down. There's calls for more protests today and coming this week.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian. No, I think they're right. I mean, again, they have to send in the military to stop this, I think. And if you don't stop it with the military, they're just going to get more and more extreme until basically it just boils over and people end up getting killed.
Why would you even call that Christian? Why are you even borrowing? Why do you even need Father, Son, Holy Spirit? You don't need that. Why are you doing some symbolic gesture? Why at all? There's no practice you have. What is your practice of being Christian with this idea that nothing is the Father, Son, something, Holy Spirit in motion, right? There's nothing you get out of that. That's not Christian, dude. You can't call that Christian. There's no ecclesiology. You're borrowing from a deeply held, preserved faith, a liturgical, Eucharistic, and Episcopal
Alrighty,
practice
folks, I'm back.
and tradition. You're borrowing it and inverting it, but you have no justification for
There
what
we go.
you're saying.
I got to put a gate on this, I think.
Is nonsense.
I'll have to figure out how to
You're
put a gate.
47. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Holy shit, bro.
All right.
Holy shit. You're 47 and you've come to the conclusion that you're finally Christian because you think Father is nothing? That doesn't even make sense. That's a contradiction. If Father is something, Father can't be nothing, first of all. That's incoherent gibberish, bro.
Yep. Fact.
I want to ask you a straight-up question. Mind Duck. Straight-up question.
Thanks, Mr. Carey.
Have you done a lot of hallucinogenics?
You agree there?
That does tend to get into the...
You sound like Owen Benjamin, dude.
The rather abstract philosophical stuff that people like to...
All right, yeah, well, I think we've heard enough. All I really needed to hear was that statement. I wish he opened with that. You know, McToon is like a soft evangelical something Christian, I think, too. I wish you opened with that, bro. Father is nothing, something is the Son, and the Holy Spirit is motion, bro.
All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and hide this because I think I'm going to do a draft real quick. And I know this might be boring for some of you guys, but for those of you that are tuning in to watch me do some Laurelwind, or of course, I know it's not titled that. I'm going to have to figure out how to change that on this new computer. I'm used to my other setup. I'm going to go ahead and focus on this real quick. Here we go. We got Death Touch. Whenever this creature enters or transforms into Tristan, Callous Cultivator, mill 3 cards. Then if there is an elf card in your graveyard, you gain 2 life. At the beginning of your first main phase, you may pay 1 swamp. If you do, transform Tristan. Okay. It becomes a 3/4 legendary creature elf warlock. Whenever this creature transforms into Tristan, penitent color, mill 3 cards, you may exile an elf card from your graveyard. If you do, each opponent loses 2 life. At the beginning of your first main phase, you may pay 1 green if you do transform them. So you just keep switching them back and forth. Interesting. Very interesting. We get an uncommon here, a Wanderbrine Trapper. Apparently, there's a lot of tribal stuff in this set. So I haven't looked at any of the spoilers, so I'm going into this with a brand new, fresh set of eyes. What's up, Don? Good to see you. Yep, that's how you get your crown. You just yap and yap some more. So we got Run Away Together. Choose 2 target creatures controlled by different players. Return those creatures to their owner's hands. Okay. Lifelink. When this creature enters, mill 2 cards. Okay. A lot of mill, it looks like. A lot of graveyard stuff. I've got a Merfolk here. Whenever this creature becomes tapped, create a 1/1 blue and black fairy creature token with flying. That seems pretty good, actually. And we have a Zealot here, Kolroth Zealot. When this creature enters, exile the top card of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play that card. And it's got a basic land cycle. So I guess you can get any basic land. Okay. All right, cool. Let's see. A Golden Meadow Nomad. You can exile this card from your graveyard, create a 1/1 green and white Kithkin. Creature token, activate only as a sorcery. Then we have the Flaring Cinder that we already saw. Okay. Interesting. All right. Well, let's go ahead and well, we got mastery here, so this is how you can spend orbs. So this is some of the stuff we can get. Oh, cool. She looks like a grumpy old Gus, huh? And we got Svig. He must be like maybe a planeswalker, merfolk or something. And then we got. She looks kind of cool. I think my wife might enjoy some of these. Oh, that guy looks pretty cool. Looks like a kind of like a twisted treant or something. Looks like some kind of a frog-looking thing. And of course, you got the regular card arts. Interesting. It'd be good to take a look at some of these cards to see what they do. Emptiness. It's a creature, 3/5. When this creature enters, if you pay 2 white was spent to cast it, return target card name 3 or less. Okay, cool. If 2 swamps were spent to cast it, put 3 -1/-1 up to 1 creature. Interesting. So it's got return and removal built in. Shadow, what are you doing? You better not eat their dog food. This one's got when this creature enters. Okay, if you pay 2 blue, so incarnations. The incarnation must be the new set thing. Okay. Return up to one other target non-land permanent to it, so you don't have to. So it's up to. And 2 black was spent. They reveal their hand. You choose a non-land card from it. Okay. So that prevents it from being bounced or used that way. Okay, interesting. But I wonder if you use the monk, like if it, what is it? Where forget what the name of it is, but it comes back into play for 2 mana. I wonder if you use 2 swamp. I wonder if it would trigger that effect. We got Vibrance. 2 red was spent. Does 3 damage to any target. 2 green. Stop looking. If 2 green was spent to cast it, search your library for a land card. Okay, so it's got a little fetch, a little damage. Then we got the white-red version of it. 2 1/1 Pithkin creatures. Or 2 red. 2, let's see, control get. Creatures you control get +1/+1 to gain haste till the end of the turn. And you can evoke it. You may cast this spell for its evoke. If you do, it's sacrificed when it enters the battlefield. Oh, interesting. And then we have this one right here, green and blue, Wistfulness. You can exile target artifact or enchantment. Okay, so it's got some artifact, enchantment, hate. And 2 blue, you can draw 2 cards, then discard a card. Okay. And then you got Brigand. When it enters, so 3/2 for 3. When it enters, transform. Okay, wait. When it enters or transforms into Brigand, heart, create a 1/1 green creature. The beginning of your first main phase, you may pay 1 green if you do transform. Okay, so again, you can bounce it back and forth. This will help you do some mana. Cool. I guess these all kind of transform. Okay, you got Merfolk, Warlock, Goblins. Okay, that's a goblin, not a frog. Okay, this is pretty cool. Got some Sig's Command. Little blue-white. Let's see. Create a tokenized copy of target Merfolk you control. Create creatures target player controls gain lifelink until the end of turn. Target player draws a card, or target stun counter on it. Interesting. Looks like there's definitely some color combos there. Kindred sorcery. So black and green seems to be like an elf thing. Interesting. Huh. And red and blue. Okay. Just trying to take a look at some of these things. And okay. All right, let's try to do. Hey, Lone Bolt, good to see you. And I got to turn the subpar bell on. Yeah, absolutely. Right now it's supposed to be. I got the wrong. What do you call it for it? We're gonna do some Lauren. Pick 2 fast draft. I don't think I want to do that. I think I'll do a traditional draft here. Or I don't know. Maybe I'll do a pick 2. try a pick 2. It's only 6,000. Let's try that. Let's try a pick 2. Sorry about that. I was a little distracted reading cards. Alright, we're ready. What are you doing, buddy? Huh? So you pick 2 cards at the same time here, so we'll see how this goes. And I think it does automatically do like suggestions and stuff for you. So this ought to be jumping into the deep end here, I think. I am getting hungry though, so after this draft, I think I'm gonna get something to eat. What you doing, buddy? Hi, Finn. What's the matter, Mama? Mama's playing games, huh? And Ellie's taking up all the room. Come here. Come here. Come on. Hi, buddy. Did you get enough to eat? Hmm? There you go. Now you're making a sneak. Here you go. Let's see if you can even see him. Look at him staring at me. There's Finny. What are you doing, Finny? Finny? Hi. What you doing, buddy? Oh, you were like heavy for standing right on my. There you go. What you doing? Hmm? Come over here. Okay. Yeah, I don't like. What are you doing? You're not feeling good? Wish you'd look at over here. Just say hi. Alright. Hold on, guys. Let me focus. Danielson. Alright, Shadow. Go lay down. Yeah, I don't like kisses on the mouth by dogs. I'm not really into that. Alright, let's see. So question is, are we gonna go blue-white? Let's see, this spell costs X less to cast, where X is the greatest mana value among elements you control. Flying, when this creature enters, if you cast it, return all non-elemental creatures to their hands. When this enchantment enters, create 2 Kithkin. Oh wow, that seems really powerful right there. You good? Yeah, I'm live streaming. Oh, let me turn it off. Okay, it's off now. Okay. Alright, baby. Whatever you cast. That's an elemental wizard. Oh, no, I definitely want that. Okay. Let's go with that. Change them now. Have this creature enter as a copy of any creature on the battlefield. I think we're going to go. Let's give that a shot here, guys. Alright, so we got white, blue, flash. That's pretty good, I think. Enchant creature has flying. Return light 2. Return this card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay. That looks pretty good too. That's got Convoke and Vigilance. That looks like it'd be a pretty good card to have as well. Basic land cycling. I think we're just gonna go with uncommons and rares to try to get the best deck we can. We got some merfolk action going on here. Do we splash any black? That's the question. Additional cost to cast this spell. You may blight 1, destroy target creature with mana value 2 or less. Target creature gains first strike and untap it. Convoke, draw 3 cards, then discard a card. Guess we'll go with that. Alright, low-key feel like I'm making a mistake here. That's good removal right there. So, bread, right? Bombs removal, a Merfolk Warrior, or another Convoke. 1/3 flying, another Merfolk you get. Okay, so we have some Merfolk in here. We do have Merfolk, so we'll go with that. That Convoke will probably come around. Kithkin Knight, when this creature enters. Versus, there's a merfolk. I think we'll go with this and this, I think, guys. I think we're going to go with these two here. Whenever this creature becomes tapped, you gain 2 life. That looks interesting. Choose to target different players. So that's some good bounce. I think I'm going to go with the bounce. Kind of weird there's only 1 card at the end there. Alright, so it's a merfolk cleric. Other tapped creatures you control have indestructible. Okay. This creature enters with -1/-1 counter on it. Remove a counter from this creature. Oh! So this is where I can put my blights to get this enchantment back. Alright, I'm already seeing some good use for, where was it? This thing right here, right? No. This thing right here. Yeah. I'm definitely going to pick that up. I'm already seeing some good uses for that. So that's a, oh wow, that's actually pretty powerful. 3/4 for 3 mana and other tapped creatures. Huh. Especially with Convoke and stuff like that. We're going to go with that. That's a rare. We have Dawn Blessed. As this enters, choose. Okay. Whenever a permanent you control of the chosen types enter, you gain 1 life. I don't know if I'm going to. Exile target creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. Create 1/1 colors. Okay, we're going to do that. It's a nice little blink effect. That's Kifkin. Question is, am I going to hate draft this? I think I'm going to hate draft that. Just to have it. Because this is my free-to-play account. Well, I'm really tempted. I'm going to go probably get rid of that. What do we got here? Whenever into this enchantment, exile 1 target non-land permanent an opponent controls until this enchantment leaves play. Okay. That's good removal. Let's go with this. Flying Vivid. When this creature enters, draw cards equal to the number of colors among permanents you play. I don't know that that's such a great card for me to grab. Hexproof until the end of turn. Right, we'll grab it for now. Another Convoke. Fairy Rogue. Yeah, that could be pretty handy. All right. Guess I'm gonna have to probably go with these. Both are merfolk. That's an elemental though. I'll try these. I'm gonna try to keep it pretty. I mean, right now my curve is pretty freaking awesome. It's a pretty freaking nice curve. Not gonna lie. Kifkin. Whenever another creature control. Okay. Get a rare here. Each other creature you control has hexproof from each of its colors. Okay. Target creature you control becomes all colors to the end of turn. Oh, that could be pretty good. I like this. I'm going to hang on to this Everstrike. I think with this blight and stuff, I think it's going to be very, very handy. I think I'm definitely going to draft that, though. There's that enchantment that I got. I really do like that enchantment. Counters. Beginning of your end step if there's an elf in your graveyard. Woke. Enchant, let's see. When this aura enters, tap enchanted creature. Enchanted creature can't become untapped and can't have counters put on it. Huh. Kind of like that. I think we'll draft that one. Swept away, and so this one says can't attack block. Flight 1, sacrifice this or exile enchanted creature. I do like the convoke though. Target the owner of target spell or creature puts it in the choice top or bottom. Sorry guys, I am trying to read these things pretty fast. Oh, there's a oh look at that. I'm just gonna draft those two cards. I don't know why nobody's taking them, but I'm just gonna draft them for shiggles. Although I probably, if I really want to get my best chance of winning, I probably would get this one and this one. But I'm gonna go ahead and hate draft these just to have the, because again, this is not a deck that I spend money on. There's a convoke right there. There's another changeling. This one's interesting. Ooh. Huh. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, looks like blue is pretty wide open, chat. Yep, you can do good cards. Last you can. Okay, so I need to get rid of quite a few cards here. I mean, I can almost do a single. I could probably almost do like an all-white deck, it would seem. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Uh-huh. So this actually in combination with this chick would be really good. I think I'm going to get rid of that. I mean, I've got quite a few 2-drops, it looks like. How many creatures do I have? 18 creatures. I don't really want to get rid of too many creatures here. Enchanted creature can't attack or block. That's like a little combat trick. I do like this. This is really going to come in handy for just generating tokens. Other tap creatures you control have indestructible. Definitely keeping that. So I wonder. I wonder what I would have if I got rid of everything except for. We'd still be short, wouldn't we? Okay. So like, what's absolutely. This enchantment, exile up to 1 target permanent. Okay. When this creature enters, creatures you control. 15 creatures you control also have first strike. 3/4 for. I don't know. It's not enough creatures, so obviously this can't be. Sell this card from the graveyard. I really do like this this Evershrike gift. I don't know, man. I mean, it just gives everything flying. It seems really good. This can come in as a copy of anything except for it has changeling. I'm thinking like, well, what would be really good to have as a copy in this? All right, let's just get rid of everything here. Let's just go mythics and rares. Let's see what we have for mythics and rares. We're definitely going to bring Tam in. Each other creature you control is hexproof from each of its colors, right? Target creature you control becomes all colors. I mean, if I can get this out and keep it protected, right? So we're definitely, and this one here is spells cost X less to cast, where X is the greatest mana value among elementals you control. Okay. This spell costs X less to cast. Okay. When it enters, if you cast it, return all non-elemental creatures to its hand. This might not be something I want to have in my deck, actually. This might not make the cut. All right, so now we're going to go uncommons. And colorless. And that's going to give everything flying. This creature enters with that. Remove a counter from this creature. Target creature gains indestructible until end of turn. Activate on its sorcery. Okay. This is as additional cost to cast. Behold a merfolk or pay 2. When this creature enters, create a 1/1 white and blue merfolk token. This spell costs 2 less to cast. Creature attacking. Okay, so that's swat away. I think this is gonna pay dividends, especially with that. What's up, Don? I would be horrible at this game. I can't make a decision to save my ass. Yeah, but I mean, if you play it, you download it, it'll teach you everything you need to know. This enchantment's definitely coming in. I think this enchantment's gonna overwhelm my opponent. I'm hoping. Exile target creature you control, then return it to the battlefield. Create a 1/1. Okay. That's good for saving something. This has got some good bounce to it. I think that can come in handy. That's a good little, okay. So now let's go commons. So we're at 30. I need 10 of the best cards right now. How many creatures am I looking at right now? I'm looking at creatures do I have? Oops, hold on. I only got 6 creatures, so I definitely need as many creatures as I can get. So this is going to help me get mana. I definitely think this is a good card to have. You know what? How many changelings do I have? That's how many elementals do I have? That's an elemental. That's an elemental soldier. So then if I went back to Mythic, or Rare. I mean, that's a 5/5 flyer. That's pretty big. That could save my ass, though. Could clear a board. Thinking about putting it in. I don't know, chat. I don't know. What do y'all think? It walks you through the gameplay. It's really good. Yeah, it really does hold your hand until you get the hang of it. It really, really does. Let's see. I think that has to go in. And I really do. That's an exile effect. That ain't bad. That's a big creature right there. This one gives hexproof, right? Yeah, so that can save something. But I'm still at 13 creatures, chat. I need more creatures. Well, this is going to give me creatures. Merfolk Warrior comes tapped. Another target control gets +2 until the end of the turn. Oh, wait a second. Don't I have? Oh, I do have those in. Okay. And that's a good little. You can't attack the block. That's a good little 1-drop there. So I'm at 40 right there. It's only 14 creatures. I gotta do some thinking here. I do have a decent amount of bounce. Whenever this becomes tapped, I gain 2 life. The 2/2 for 2 gives me 2 life. And I can give it flying. I think this has to go in. Man, I really think this might have to go out. And that's a Merfolk Cleric. So if I have this, right? Oops, did I do the right one? Yeah, whenever this becomes tapped, another Merfolk. Maybe I can go 16 land. My curve's really good. I mean, I got a really good curve. Oh gosh, I just feel like that's a good pacifier right there. That's a good lockdown as well. Their best creature. This is a good little bounce, you know, to get something out and to get something back. That could be really, really handy. Especially if I got something that comes into play that has a come into play effect. Like that. Yikes. There's some card draw. Flash flying. That could be a tap. I could flash it. That's actually a really good card, I think. Did you have fun playing, Brent?
Yeah.
You did? Is it messing up your eyes, though?
A little bit, but not too bad. But I'm not gonna push it because
Yeah.
it's starting and I don't want
Gotcha. Alright, so flying, surveil. That's a merfolk. I really think I got to put that in there. I think I need to have as many merfolk in here as I can. And that's a removal. Yikes. Okay. Alright, so I guess I can get rid of this. You know, I'm not really doing the elementals. So that brings me back down to 40. Shapeshift. That's an elemental too, though. That would be an elemental. That would be an elemental. I don't know, man. Do I keep the 5/5 in there? Ah, chat. Oh no. So do I bring the Sunderflock in? That's the question. Just like do it. It's a 5/5. You good? Are you going upstairs? I'm hungry. I mean, if you wanna bring me down something to eat. Are you gonna have beef stew or? Yeah, I'll have some later. Don't worry about it. I could probably afford to skip a little bit of a meal. All right, here we go. We're back again here. Actually, let's see if this cutting off the top of my head. Huh. Hmm. When this enchantment enters, exile up to one target non-land permanent opponent controls until this enchantment leaves the battlefield. I guess I could get rid of that. Bring this in. Let's try this, chat. That'll put us at 16 creatures. Mana curve's not horrible. All right, let's give it a shot. Wish us luck. Wish us luck, chat. All right, let's see. Let's see how this goes. I gotta put on my blue. They're starting to get funky. I'm gonna clean these though. Alright. Good starting hand, I think. Alright, we'll go ahead and keep that. Go ahead and turn up the game sound though. Kind of cool because it's going to have some music, some new music. Let me know if the game sound is, I think I'll bring it up to about 30%. Get the music going. Alright, let me know if the game sounds a little too loud. You cast a spell with mana value 4. Okay. This creature enters or dies. Surveil 1. Okay. That's an elemental wizard. We'll do this. Get some stuff out right now. So I'll have something to use for 5 mana if I get stuck. Opponent does not want to trade. Probably a wise decision. We're going to get a flyer out right away. Whenever you cast a spell with it. Okay, we're going to do this first. No attack. It's got trample. The green-red's got some pretty good aggro tempo going to it. Sorry if this is going to be... Here, let me turn this down a little bit. So maybe it's not reflecting in my eyes as much. There we go, that's better. I'm going to cut off the top of my head a wee bit, though. Alright. Guess we'll just go like this. Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of a weird trade. Interesting. Okay with that. So I can convoke here. Huh. Trigger that. I think we just swing for 4. I will keep that land. Oh, nice! It has had vigilance too. I'm gonna copy that. I think. Double strike. Oh, great! Is that double strike? You're kidding. Out. And that son of a bitch got trampled. Oh shit. Oh shit. Hold on. I did the wrong one. Oh no. I didn't want to do that. Swing with that. Oh, I could have just casted it. Why'd I do that? My bad. My bad. Well, the good news is I can block his 4/2 now with my aggressor. Unless he gets rid of it. Please don't have haste. Now the good news is this is going to cost a lot less for me to cast. And it's elemental. Oh no! Don't do it. Uh-oh. Oh no. Well, yeah. Yeah, I have to. Yowza. That hurts. It would be awful nice, though, if I could get... Alright, no attack. Let's see what happens here. Flashback. Behold 3 elemental. Create a token that's a copy of card creature. Oh, great. Come on, man. Oh well. Obviously this guy's like some pro player or something. Drafted perfectly. Appreciate the good luck wish. Alright, let's try again. Dang. Dang. If I would have had that ability to give hexproof on that one thing, I think I would have switched everything. I would have definitely changed things. Just didn't have the mana. Alright. Turn 1, that's good. Turn 2. Turn 2 play. That. Go ahead and swing for 1. Good news is it's got hexproof. He's got... Alright, land cycling. There's that. Other tap creatures you nice. They have indestructible while they're tapped. Ooh, that's gonna come in handy with split up. It's not bad at all. Okay. Very nice. Whenever another creature you control enters, but this creature has. Alright, shoot. I don't know why I didn't block that one. It's kind of weird. Should have blocked the one too. Interesting. We got a Kithkin, Scarecrow. What's this? Surveil 1. When this creature enters, return up to 1 card. Okay. And this says remove a counter from this creature. Okay. Alright. That'll give me 2 creatures. This creature enters. I think we'll do this. Cool. I don't really see a... Definitely attack that. should have indestructible, right? Huh. Wait, what did... Oh, wait. Wait, what did I... What happened? Oh. I think we'll get rid of that one. Yeah, we'll get rid of that. Oh, is that one? That one's the one that says other tapped creatures. Oh, silly goose me. Alright. Pay attention. What's up, Karma? Good to see you. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Choose a color. Land chosen color. I love the art on that. It's pretty cool. Not sure what it does. Reveal those cards in your hand and shuffle. When this enchantment enters, search your library for up to X. Here, Griffin. Hi, buddy. Bailey. Yeah, hey, Bailey. Look at JP. He's got number 2 on the old crown there. Alright, so for those of you that aren't really interested in... We'll let this play. I don't even know if he's still on or not. But...
How can motion be a person? How could nothing be a person? How can...
I'll turn this down a little bit.
Matter be a person? Crazy, bro. It's just a motion bird. It's a motion bird. I'm not even actually trying to dig on him. I'm just asking straight up. Do you do a lot of hallucinogenics? Totally. Don't disrespect Terrence. This is all Terrence. I think this blows even Maryland out of the water, honestly. I'm tasting sounds. I'm tasting sounds, man. Bro. I think I got long COVID. 9 minutes, 3 more, y'all. Helping out. You are subverting and subordinating God to your spirit. Yeah, it's pathetic. It's like, no offense, dude, but at least you could have been 20. At least you could have been
20. Ooh, that's not good.
Ugh, terrible, man. Sorry to hear that. Prompt was, in reality, without a creator, would morality diminish?
Ooh, that's got
in reality, without a creator. He played devil's advocate. He ended up conceding and only like 15 minutes long. Yeah, I don't even grant... Did you just say, like, I don't grant a reality without a creator? That doesn't even make sense. How can you conceive of reality without all the necessary justifications?
All right.
This whole discussion was a fever dream. I know I should have had like new age music. I only have my sad music right now. So I have that. I have my potential opponent. What's today? Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday.
Go ahead and speed him up.
So today is a hangout day. Yesterday I focused on creating stuff. I know I told you guys.
You guys got a Vivid deck going here. That seems kind of cool.
And hit the throttle on making things. So I did make something, as you guys saw. So please like it, share it, put it on Facebook, put it on everything, retweet Twitter
shit.
Stuff. Helps a lot. So I'm gonna keep going with the skeptics thing. It's pretty funny. Had to take a tiny break just Friday throughout the weekend. Overloaded. Couldn't do Ortho Thugs. Else in the chat. I did get another email from Sean. You guys know Sean Kelly of Digital Social. What's it called? Digital Social Hour. You know that guy? So he reached out and ask for topics for a potential interview with me and a debate, so I can go to Vegas, where he's based, and maybe get an interview, and then
All right, no attacks.
He asked for a topic and potential opponents. And you know what I said, right?
This Terry says, warning. If you are going to come here, please come correct. If you come here to troll, you will be timed out. First time and banned second time. Consider this your only warning. Moderators are watching. What? I don't really ban people, I think. Not too much. Maybe I do ban people here. Yeah, that might be true on this one. I do kind of not give people a whole lot of chances to screw me over, do I? What does he have? He must have something, right? I mean, he's got to have something, right? All right, let's say no block this time. Let's see what my next card draws me. Oh God, come on. What I think I do here is I think I go this one. And I think I go back, back. Yeah. Fair enough. All right. I'm not really hating on that.
You know what I said? I said I want to debate evolution. And I want to debate either Professor Dave or Forrest Valkyrie.
Sorry, Ellie.
And we'll see.
That's going to be a problem. Nothing getting flying.
My goals here, you guys are going to have to help me.
I got to deal with that thing.
I have this new thing that I downloaded a plugin. And it's like, so I can click on the things. The chat overlay. And then like chat comes up or whatever. And it's not even working right now. It's hilarious. And so it's not letting me reset the goal to like 50, which is my normal goal. So you guys are going to have to help me out with that. 10 at a time.
Dang it.
I don't know why that's not working, by the way.
Oh, I shouldn't have done that.
Fix that. Get overlay. Let me see. Yeah, let me try this. Let's try
shoot.
This.
Yep.
What is it? 1920 by 1080. Is that how this works? Alrighty. No? Nothing? Okay. Oh, there it is. Hello. Alright. So yeah, today we'll just do a hangout. I was like reading up. I have a debate on Thursday, by the way. Finally, an actual, quote, evolutionary biologist is going to debate me. So, someone might think, oh no, you know, he's getting into technical territory. I might not know some technical terms at the biological molecular level. Yeah, that might be true. That might be true. But what I found when debating evolution is that when the more granular you go with evolution, the worse it is for evolution. When you try to defend what's going on, the grand scale of evolution, and you go to the molecular, it's actually worse off for you. So I'm not like worried about it. You know, optically, he probably will get me on some things like, do you even know what this is? I'm like, no. Can you make the leap between that and, I don't know, a wolf becoming a whale? Can you? Well, no, you can't. Of course not. You can't do it.
Let me turn this up.
Thank you, Sean. Appreciate that. Appreciate y'all. So yeah, so I'm just hanging out. Can you debunk more of Messenger of Truth's videos? He's so insufferable, dude. That guy's so insufferable. It's just the worst. It's like hard to listen to because it's so bad. Him and what's his name, Cleave to Antiquity, and those guys ripped into him. I even saw Father Stephen DeYoung take him out, which was funny to see. I really like the mix of the cartoon styles and the new animation. Thank you so much. I'm going to start doing Ren and Stimpy style. You know, when the Ren and Stimpy's like classic animation, flat, pretty flat, and then they'll do like a realistic zoom in that's so disgusting. I'm going to start doing that.
Pasta and meat sauce. That sounds
I'm just going to keep pressing on these atheists. And I've set off a storm on X with evolution, people coming at
See,
me from
so
all sides.
Cat
And they
3
really cannot
flying.
defend it. It's wild. They really can't do it. They don't even know. It's like
Do
they're in a
that.
zone. They just like kind of repeat. They're like, oh, no, there's so much evidence. Some guy was like, there's a whole warehouse. He said, there's a whole warehouse full of evidence. I'm like,
Swing
what
with
is it?
everything. See if we got this, boys.
Where's this warehouse of evidence? And then I was watching like more of like, she's so hard to watch though. I wish she had a different voice. Gutsick Gibbon, you know who that is?
Okay.
She's doing more evolution stuff, and I would cover some of it, but it's just so, her voice is so unbearable. I just wish there was like a voice changer. You should be able to change the voice without changing the
I
speed
think this
of the YouTube.
enchantment's gonna really. I think that enchantment right here is gonna really save my bacon on some games. Hopefully I win this one. Oh, he's got 2 cards in hand plus a land. Maybe he's just got a bunch of land. I don't know. Let's see. Kind of making me a little nervous. Making me nervous.
Timu, Millhouse, Millhouse. It's annoying though, because she's like the go-to. I might even debate her at some point.
Oh shoot, I should have done that.
You know what I mean? I might just
Such a
debate her.
silly
It's
goose.
just like, she did this whole video on creationists conceding something.
All right, let's see what
And
happens
I'm
here.
like, what's the concession?
Figured he had some.
What is it? What's the concession?
Okay, so he's
She
gonna
goes
block
through this video and she talks about different skulls. And you know what's interesting that I always find with evolution proponents is they really only have one go-to framework for things, chronologically speaking. They capture a segment of time where humans exist, and you look back and look at things that are similarly structured as humans, and they only stay there, right? You know, the classic meme, you know, the ape standing up, becoming a man, this thing. Well, there's a reason that they focus on that, because
All right, guys, we gotta
there's a
win.
big problem with their taxonomy.
That's
And
good.
we've discussed it many times here.
If we can get 4 wins, that'd be like pretty amazing. 4 wins would be, well, actually, I guess. Well, what is it? 900 gems to enter. So I guess if we get 3 wins, we'll definitely be in the. I don't know. We'll see. Let's just try to get as many wins as we can. Hopefully we can get a. Hopefully we can trophy. We got a little bit of an update from Finkel. Just you continue to ask for prayers. Good vibes sending Finkel's way, please. You know, whether you want to rub crystals or say your prayers or whatever you can muster will be very, very helpful. Appreciate it.
Is that, first of all, their entire system of classification is completely arbitrary, they admit, but they appeal to it as if it's objective. So they're kind of in a contradiction. They're like, species
start off
change.
with the 2-1.
That's an objective truth under evolution.
Actually, I'm going to hold off on that because I want to be able to.
And then they're like, yeah, of course, we figured it out. And you go, is species an objective thing?
I do want to be able to
No,
get the.
of course not. Of course it's
benefit.
not. I don't know what you're talking about.
No.
But it's worse. I started thinking about this, and this came up in a different video. They have these terms like, you know, there's categories and subcategories, and there's species of
guess we have to
different
hold on.
kinds.
I think I'm going to do this.
And then there's clades. And I started thinking about these clades, right? And so clades are like, clade is the bigger general thing that they appeal to. And they say, well, species, whatever animals, they never leave their clade, right? They also say that like a human, the human being, they die as human beings. Every human being dies as a human being. But they also insert this moment of divergence.
He's okay. He's got a very stressful thing ahead of him. Let's just put it that way. We'll just kind of want to pray that he'll have a supernatural peace that'll surpass all earthly understanding. That Jesus will guide the hands of those that need their hands guided.
So they'll say every human that's born lives and dies as a human. All of humans live and die as humans. Humans never not become get out of humans. And then, but also there's this moment.
How's this sound on YouTube? Is it? I know when I talk, I have to pause it, but I know if I try to talk, I don't have it gated right now where I have to figure out how to gate that in order for it to have a filter that it'll lower its volume so that you'll hear me over the video. But is it a little too loud, the YouTube video?
Where at the population level, not even at the individual, at the population level, there's a massive divergence at the same time, randomly, where the new set of human-like things can no longer procreate with the previous kind. And they have to move on down the line their own way. You can go your own way, go your own way.
Oh, he sings too.
And you're like, well, that's interesting. So if you keep going back in time, they always arbitrarily start at a point where they grant themselves a population. And then you go, wait. That population needed to come from somewhere, right? Right? Like a camel, right? Camel day, you know? However you pronounce it, I don't know. They have a category for camel-like things. Alpacas and camels and things that look like camels, and they spit at people. Okay? That entire category, they call this massive thing, right? But the problem is, from their view, that category had to spawn from something else that it wasn't. And this is the fundamental, one of the fundamental problems in evolution, is they can't possibly coherently present a system for this.
Let's make them use something
can't do it.
to save that.
Present a system for this. It's totally arbitrary.
Perfect. Okay.
And you see it in the way they talk about it. It's all over the place. They just go, wait, can I just start from this position, please? And we go, no, actually, we don't grant you that position.
Go ahead and convoke. No,
Maybe
hold
Bro's
on.
just
You might
learned
have a
about taxonomy.
counterspell.
Took
I think I'm gonna
psychic
do
damage
this.
from seeing this image. It hopefully goes without saying if you're even tangentially interested in human evolution, or if you've been to my channel before. But the March of Progress has not been popular for like many decades, probably since around its inception. It overly simplifies human evolution, and it gives it a very anagenetic, orthogenetic perspective, which is not correct. Human evolution is better represented by a bush, by many different lineages, some of which...
See? She admits it right off the
Hey,
bat.
baby.
It's
that
like,
surprised me.
no, you're
Thank you.
oversimplifying. Well, no, that's code word for you're cross-examining it with rigor. No, you have to grant us generalities, a bush. You have to grant us a massive tree that we've constructed that we can't explain. Please.
Which were successful, some of which were not. Human evolution works just like the evolution of any group of organisms. There's going to be experiments, there are going to be dead ends, and there are many ways to be a hominin and many ways to be a human.
See what I'm saying?
All right, guys, I'm going to turn off.
She's
my
introducing
cam so I can
these
eat.
distinctions that she doesn't have a justification for. You know why? Because the evolution proponent, they can't tell you when and how they know something becomes a human and is separate from this other thing. They don't know when that is. They don't know how to dictate. They don't know. They don't have any epistemic criterion for it. It's completely arbitrary because it has to be this from their view, this progressive, very blurred, general gradient system.
Beef stew.
They have to. That's how they have to talk about it. That's why rigor and granularity when you attack evolution is so important.
You
So
guys
many
hear me
simple
chewing
problems.
real
I was
bad? Is
talking
it
to this
bad?
guy online here on X. Hilarious. He ended up blocking me because of it. I kept pressing him on this view. He was talking about the Tyrannosaurus Rex, right? He's like, well, chickens are diverged from these dinosaurs. You go, oh, that's an interesting claim. Then we're talking about transitional fossils, right? And I was telling him that, like, from the evolutionary view, anything you find that's a fossil, you would necessarily call it transitional, because if evolution was true, whatever you found was in the middle of what it was and what it could be, would be, will be. It's always in transition, right? Except if you're a horseshoe crab. And he said, well, no, the Tyrannosaurus Rex, I just granted him his fantastical, imaginary, oversized toys. The Tyrannosaurus Rex is not a transitional fossil, he said. I said, why not?
Well,
He said, because it died out. Which, he didn't understand the problem with this. And maybe it's not clear to the audience here.
Well, the problem is, if it's not a transitional creature, right? I don't know. If it's not a transitional creature, then it didn't evolve. I think that might be what he's getting ready to say.
One of the hypotheticals I bring up with evolution and fossils is that the evolution proponent has no real way of determining whether the thing they found is just similar to the thing that's present, or it's the thing that's present actually comes from the thing they found. Because all they have is anatomy. That's all they have is phenotype, anatomy, structure, what it looks like, similarities. And because of this problem,
You're going to counter
if I always use Camel World hypothetical to demonstrate this, that that if there's a camel that exists today,
Well
and
played,
there's an
sir.
alpaca
Well played.
that's found, and someone doesn't know, let's say there's an entire civilization that never knew what an alpaca was, but there were super evotards. And they found the alpaca, and they celebrated, and there was a big, science festival, and Obama gave them one of those gold medals. Oh, we found something. This is huge. We just found the ancestor of the camel. Look, it's the transitional form before a camel becomes a camel. Well, the problem is, hypothetically, at some other place on Earth, someone else finds an alpaca bone structure, and they actually know what it is, because in that place...
I enjoy Jim Bob. He breaks things down really well for dummies like me. Yeah, he's interesting. What the hell's going on here? Okay. Oh yeah, this would be perfect. Yeah, let's do that. Oh yeah, you shouldn't have done that, bro. You should not have done that. You should not have done that. Oh, that's like perfect, bro. That's like perfect. Oh, he screwed up there. He should have left that alive. Yeah, I like Made by Jim Bob, but I mean he's got an understanding of certain things like biology and different historical things that I just don't understand, dude. I'm like well out of my depth with a lot of that stuff.
They have alpacas. Two things that are similar that live at the same time. Now the problem, it's relevant to the Tyrannosaurus Rex thing that I went back and forth with this guy, is because he said, well, a Tyrannosaurus Rex fossil is not transitional because they died out. It's only transitional.
Yeah, he screwed up by getting rid of that.
If they don't die out, which makes no sense because isn't it true that all of these other skulls that this chick is pointing to at the individual level and assuming there's a population of them, isn't she saying that that's an ancestor, but it died out? Makes no sense. They're so inconsistent, dude. So inconsistent.
Great haircut. That's the sizzling Sicilian we all like to see.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Thank you. I fixed my chat overlay. Now I can see everything. Chaw, 20 big buckaroos, getting me closer to the first goal of 10, which I'm, for some reason, on this live chat overlay where I can click it, it's not letting me do my greedy 50. So you guys can.
Hey, my opponent has to block.
My friend, who is very smart but ideologically captured by scientism, glitches.
But I do have the Aquatex defense. The flash, enchanted creature you control when this aura enters. Enchanted creature gains hexproof until the end of turn, but it also gets +1 and +2, which is really good. When this creature enters, and whenever you cast a spell with mana of 4, you may discard a card if you draw it. If he discards a land, gonna gain a life there.
When I very casually point out the massive problems, I learned from him, though, that we're likely to hear panspermia pivots soon.
Somalia benefits.
I think, Chaw, I really do believe that all of the atheists we see today
nice,
are
right?
going to adopt.
I want to be Somalian.
Ironically, an intelligent design perspective, just not God. What's up, JS Urban? Nice to see you. So anyway, what do I expect this Thursday debating a molecular evolutionary biologist? I expect a lot of high-resolution molecular talk.
Bingo.
I expect a lot of talk about maybe ERVs or
that saved my bacon.
DNA sequencing or bacteria changing or bacteria becoming parasitic. I heard some dude this week, he told me...
nice. I say thanks.
We have evidence of organisms becoming other organisms. I said, what? He said, bacteria becomes parasitic. I'm like, parasitic is a lifestyle. That's a lifestyle category.
I should have made
that means you operate a certain way. And bacteria, most bacteria, by the way, have the capability of responding in a parasitic way. Some of them, it's a part of their very nature. It's called obligate.
Oh, I couldn't.
They're obligate parasites.
I joined the TikTok and the
obligate, meaning they're obliged to act in a certain way. I guess that's what obligate means. Can one of my awesome mods, can you look up what obligate? In terms of biology, what obligate means? Does that mean that they're obliged to behave in a certain manner?
Was all humans are raped.
Or to perform a certain parasitical function?
I asked them if George Floyd was an ape and they said that's racist. So I flipped it and said they were insinuating he wasn't human. Got kicked.
Nice, dude. You should find that clip, man.
Yeah, actually, it is interesting. The evolutionary people, right? Let's go ahead and he says good game. I say good game as well. Let's go ahead and do. Go ahead and do that. And let's go ahead and do. Let's just do that. Let's take 3. All right.
And you guys got to get these things.
So yeah, the clip. So basically, saying these evolutionaries, if they say that humans evolved from apes, why would they be insulted if you call George Floyd an ape?
To me, sometimes that's amazing. Well done.
Right.
Well done. Anyway, yeah. So they always point to these things, or they'll point to like mosquitoes. Some guy showed me a picture of mosquitoes getting sprayed with DDT.
We won 2 games,
and then
so
some of them dying, and some of them surviving with some sort of adaptation. They go, see, really. Are they still mosquitoes?
We've learned that since, we've discovered so many fossils. So I will answer Jess's question here. No, the evidence does not support the march of progress, which is fine because...
Somalia is proof versus that evolution does not exist. In biology, obligate means an organism or process is strictly required, obliged, by necessity for survival or function with no alternative. Interesting. Interesting. Kick that butt. Yeah, we did it. We did it, chat. We did it. We done did it.
No one alive is proposing that the March of Progress accurately depicts human evolution. Much worse than that, though, is the division.
Hey, Katie Z in the chat. What's happening over here? What's happening over here? Is I finally got OBS. Sorry if I'm smacking my lips a lot, guys. If you can hear me chewing and doing all that like ASMR crap, just let me know and I'll turn my mic off while I'm eating. I'm not trying to annoy anyone too much. I think I can put that away. Yeah, I think I'll put that away. Yeah, I finally got my OBS kind of figured out a little bit over on my new laptop, so I'm able to play games and just kind of chill in my recliner whenever I'm not feeling like doing anything hardcore, as far as like in the studio, just chilling, eating some beef stew. Yeah,
proconsul there at the beginning as this like partially
You're so smart. Thank you. I am. Appreciate
bipedal ape. That's not what proconsul was like. Proconsul is a Miocene ape that used to include several other species within it. Now proconsul has been split into genus Proconsul and genus Ikembo, but both of these very closely related genera of early hominoid were...
Well, we'll keep you company. Made by Jim Bob is an Orthodox Christian. Might be a little hardcore for most people. Really like a lot of his takes on things.
You know what I'm saying? Is like they just start with early hominoid, this chick. She always, like, they all do. They study, and again, in their lifetime, how could they study elsewhere? Like if you try to study what they call evolution from the grandest scale, you can't really get anywhere, so you have to isolate it. So I understand that. But the thing is, it's always framed, and they never go back beyond this, right? They never go back beyond the monkey or the ape. They always keep you kind of stuck. It's like hypnosis. It's like, look at this framework. Small monkey.
Wow. Lone blood. Or lone bolt. I just realized, bro. This is a perfect combo. Oh my god, this is a perfect combo. You got the water shaper and Tam. Any other thing that's tapped has hexproof or has indestructible. And if you try to target this, you just tap that. This becomes indestructible. Oh, what a good combo that is. Oh, that's so awesome. Okay.
Short legs, long arms. Stands up. Becomes human. Then, habitually aborts their babies. Evolution. Well, no, you have to keep going back further. If evolution was true, you can't just arbitrarily start at a monkey-like thing that kind of looks like a human in some functional way. No.
You want to.
You got to then go back further, and you got to go, well, now that's got to be a part of something. That's got to be a part of a group. And then the group's got to be part of a group. It's never ending. It's endless regress. It's endless regress of arbitrary categories.
Like above branch, pronograde, palmograde, quadrupeds. That means that they walked on all fours on the palms of their hands and the soles of their feet in the trees. They don't have any aspects to them that lend themselves to a more upright posture or any kind of even partial bipedalism. That comes a lot later in hominoid and then hominid and then hominin evolution. So not really.
See what I'm saying? They just tell a story. They just say chapters. This chick does the same shit. She's a little more technical because she studies bones. But when it comes to what she's actually claiming, it's just a story. They just say the story, and then they assert it. And then you go, can you demonstrate what you just asserted? And they go, here's a picture of my assertion. You're like, that's like me claiming God exists, and then they ask for evidence, and I draw a picture.
Okay, Karma says, dang it, your game noise confuses me on my game. I'm sorry. I was thinking there was a new noise and couldn't figure out how I was making them. Are you playing Magic right now, too, or are you playing a different one? Sorry.
Of Christ. See? See you guys?
Really good.
I did it. Statin guy, $10. This makes me want to be a better Christian and or is rezzed. More several topics. George Lucas came up with the Mormons. Really? I feel like Mormonism. Mormonism is done.
Dark creature control gets +1 against vigilance. Okay.
I mean, it's not going to go away. It's just like they can't be defended, and all of their top apologists are crashing. They don't know how to defend it.
All right, so another question.
That's what it kind of makes me sad. That guy Kai, he seems like a cool dude. I actually saw an impression he did of
I think I can do this.
Psychopath character Christian Bale plays. Gates. What's his name?
One block, right?
Wait, what is his name? What is the American Psycho character's name? Anyway, I was like, man, that guy's cool. He's funny. Why is he a Mormon? Another dodge my friends will take in response to Evo criticism is simply, well, you don't believe it because you're faith. People always do that to me. And I go, I didn't bring God into this at all.
Oh,
nothing.
Here we go.
Said nothing. In fact, that's a mistake. I tell people to not do that at all. Okay. Yeah, I get the same thing, dude. Another 10 from Chaw. The biggest defeater for me was when you pointed out that the transitional problem, this is just regresses us down to slightly less human and slightly more human 2.0. Yeah, it just never ends. You just got to keep going back and back and back. That's why they don't have you go back. Okay. That's why Gutsick Gibbon and the rest of these guys, they keep you completely framed in a sort of like paradigm prison. You can't go before. Okay. You have to stay where we want you. Don't go anywhere, please. Thank you, Jessica. Our family and 2 other families will be baptized on Lazarus Saturday. Glory to God. Yeah, glory to God, Jessica. That's awesome. Thank you for letting us know that. Pomeranians evolved from wolves, so Peter Dinklage evolved from humans. Evolutionists cannot claim genetic disorder. Patrick Bateman, thank you. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and that's the thing. I put it in my cartoon. And by the way, go view it, go share it. I'm trying to make that a thing, obviously. In the cartoon, they say, well, you deny speciation. And I go, wait a second. Species, first of all, if we're talking about like dogs, you can say there's different species of the thing called dog. And you have to catch the evolution proponent on this. They think because there's different species of dog, the species, the category that the species is in this case dog, kind of like canine, that thing itself must also be a subspecies of some other thing.
Let's just do that, right?
This is the problem. And they confuse a lot of people with this because it's an easy mistake to make when you're talking. They go, what do you mean? Look, you're going to deny wolves to Yorkies? Are you going to deny that? Look at that change. And you go, yeah. That's a variation of a category. In fact, you couldn't say variation unless you had the category. A variation of what? The category, right? Well, like I said, whether it's evolution or terrible theology or atheism, the thing we always look at is a failure to accurately categorize things. Or an unjustified system of categorization, which I think evolution is mostly that.
He's down a card.
Where they go, whoa, species. Look at all the variation in the species. Of what? Of this category. Oh, well, if evolution is true, the category itself needs to be a variation of something bigger, right? This is where you get them. They don't want to go there.
Okay.
Because species of, like, say, a dog, you would say in the grand scheme of all of life, that's a part of all of life. That's one part. And evolution habitually makes this, commits this fallacy, what's called the composition fallacy, which is to say what's true of the part is true of the whole. For instance, a really good example is when you watch the development of a person inside the womb, from conception to zygote to fetus to birth, you actually watch a transition of form itself in development. And you look at that, and the evolution mind goes, you know what?
Maybe I'll get another. I got 2 of these in my deck. I really like this Evershrike gift. It's quite interesting. And this Tam organ is really cool. This wizard.
That must be true of all of humanity as a whole. And that's basically what they did. They look at that thing, they look at a part, they look at how it operates at the local level, individually, and then they extrapolate out and they go, well, that must be true of the whole. Look at that. Look at that. Look at how that happened. Giovanni says, funny how atheists praise nature-inspired designs in planes, robotics is superior, yet insist that it all arose randomly while struggling to replicate random perfection themselves. It really is. That's one of my favorite things.
I'm just going to keep
especially
swinging
like the heart.
4 here, I think.
They're like, oh, your heart needs a fixing. And you go, can you make one? And they're like, oh, yeah, this award-winning bionics master replicated an exact heart. He was able to do it perfectly, and it's super functional.
Can't tell if I'm being roped.
And you go, yeah, but did he model it after something totally random? And you're like, yeah. I always bring up the design firm
What's up, SFA?
analogy.
Good to see you.
Where there's a design firm, and they're all sitting around the table, and the boss is really anxious because, you know.
SF8 says, well, courts are closed, and we got no live, or they're getting their records. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Nothing to see there, guys. Nothing to see there. Nothing to see there. I think we're going to swing with this one here and just leave it good. All right.
He's behind, and there's another competitor wiping them out. And he's like, we got to get this going, guys. Anybody, any ideas? Anybody? Carla, Joey, Timmy, come on. And someone's like, what if we design and mimic things that were completely randomly produced? Can we do that?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it tomorrow. I might be able to, but it depends on what time is court tomorrow. What time is his arraignment? Is it 9:30 or 9:20? Sorry, I'm annoying the hell out of my opponent. Is it 9:10, 9:20, 9:30, something like that tomorrow? I might be able to make it. All right, looks like my opponent has given up hope. All right, we got 3 wins. What are you doing, Finny? I'm kind of shocked you guys aren't up there with Mom right now. I can only get 1 more loss here, so if I get 1 more win, guys, I trophy. So let's cross our fingers. Hope I get a trophy on my first draft with the new set. 9:05 a.m. All right, I should be able to do it. But if they do some weird delay stuff, I'm gonna have to leave. I got something going on in the afternoon. My loved ones need me for something, and they don't really ask a lot of me. So when they need me, I'm there. You know, that's how it should be, right? All right. Hopefully I don't get mana screw here, guys. So this is a good combo right here too. I kind of digging this. Oh, I got 2 of my Evershrike gifts. Good combo with the Wander Shrine Preacher and the Evershrike gift because it'll give it flying, right? What do we got here? A changeling. Oh, that's so cool. Stalactite Dagger. When it comes in, create a 1/1. Okay. Gets +1/+1 as all creature types. Oh, that is a cool little common. That's a cool little dagger, man. That's definitely worth getting.
Does that sound like a good idea? Yeah, let's mimic total randomness and expect hyper-specialized functionality to emerge. Insane. Thank you, Unhitbone. Appreciate you. Thank you, Jack. Appreciate you, too. Anyway, let's hear the Gutsick Goblin.
Well, sure, why it's being presented like this. You can say I'm being pedantic, but that's my job, is to point out when stuff like this is not correct. I'm nitpicking because that's how science is supposed to be. Jess asks Peter to define what an ape...
Right. And when I get nitpicky and I get super rigorous about these things, it's like it's the total opposite reaction, right?
Ape man is.
So, Peter, what actually is an ape man?
And Peter responds with basically the definition for hominins. Hominins are any ape that is more closely related to humans than it is to our closest living relatives, the chimps and bonobos, after our split roughly 7 million years ago.
Oh, roughly 7. What's the split? What is the split you're talking about? What's a split? What does this mean?
Guys, do me a favor if you haven't already, hit the like button. Yap some more. Leave a comment. This is the brand new set of Morrowind that just came out. Pretty much enjoying it. I love it. Great. Let me see something real quick. Do this. Oh, guys, I just trophied. I trophied. He just quit. I think I was taking too long. All right, we got to rank up. Bronze tier 2. Yeah, we like that. We got our trophy. All right, I guess we can do another draft here in a second. I'm over here trying to eat some beef stew and play games at the same time.
Oh, roughly 7 million years ago, there was a split. What? What's that split? What do you mean a split?
All right, we trophied, guys.
It's like simple things like this that you just don't, you sometimes don't even ask.
So it costs a certain amount to enter. So I just got 1,300 gems. Gems are worth more than gold. But then I also got 3 packs as well, which is pretty awesome. So see, I just got 1,300. So I just gained, let's see. No, hold on. 300, 400. I just gained 400 gems if I would have bought it in like that, but because I used gold, I'm getting those gems. So this is awesome, man. All right, I'm liking this.
You're like, yeah, okay, you think that it diverged or something. What does that mean? Is that a biological term? Split? Is that a disagreement? What are you talking about? What is this split? And then they split. They split up. It wasn't working anymore. There's a bunch of human-like things, and at a certain given point...
All right, guys, so I was pretty happy with that. Oh, there's one of the cards that I'm really looking forward to playing right there. So we got a rare and we have a mythic. All right. So we got white and black. Discard a card. This creature gains indestructible in return. And I do like this sun-dappled celebrant. It's pretty good. This is flying. Each opponent discards a card. That could be kind of cool. What are you doing, Finny? I think I'm just gonna go ahead and get both of these. Let's see. Trample Ward 2. This creature enters with 5 blight counters on it. Whenever another creature you control enters while this creature has a blight counter or remove blight counter. Oh, cool. Okay, yeah, we're gonna give this a shot. Let's see what we got here. Oh, there's another Sunderflock. I do like the white though. This is a changeling. Exile target creature its controller creates a 1/1 shape. Okay, but that's an exile, so that's a good removal. It's a Merfolk Scout. Whenever this creature attacks, you may tap another untapped Merfolk you do. When you do, return target creature card with mana of 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Huh. Whenever this creature attacks, you draw a card and lose a life. 4 mana. Whenever this creature enters or attacks, you may blight 2. If you do, draw a card, lose a life. You may. Huh. Yeah, I think I'm gonna continue to go ahead and just rare draft a little bit here, guys. Seem to have done me pretty well last time. I do like this card quite a bit. That's not a bad card either. This Stratosaur. I'm gonna rare draft this. And who knows, we might go into black, red, and white. So I don't even know if I'll even play this. We'll leave this here for now. What are you doing, Finny?
In time, there has to be a moment where she says they split, right? But when you press her on this, when you press any of these people on this, they go, no, there's not an actual time, and then they start squirming, and they say you're doing the continuum fallacy, where they make a positive claim like this. Oh, it's split 7 million years ago. What does that mean? What are you saying is biologically happening when you say split? What is it? Because I'm trying to imagine it, right? Because that's what you rely on is people's imagination, right? I just asked this dude on Twitter, by the way, how does random mutation produce a heart? And he says, I don't know, but I could imagine it. He literally said that. Same thing here. She just grants the story, right? Everyone listening grants the story. Oh, split. Oh, it's split. Oh, I get it. So there was a creature and a population, and the population split. What? Really? What is it you're actually saying here? Statin Guy for $10 says, believing in the Bible, quote, is stupid and just a book, atheist. Life sucks and science is a catch-all. Also, your relatives were monkey-dog hybrids. Buy my book. Trust me, I'm gross. Yeah, totally, dude.
And Peter articulates this generally.
The line or lineage leading to humans, they call ape men.
But the last time anybody used the term ape man was like the last time anybody thought the March of Progress was a legitimate representation of evolution.
Is she talking about a BLM protester?
It was decades and decades and decades and decades ago. So I don't know why he's saying that the conventional scientific community uses that term at all. Because I have never met anybody who does.
They don't really like using that term anymore. I'm not sure why, but...
This isn't true. He actually does know why, and he articulates it later in this interview. The reason why ape man is no longer used is because in the middle of the 1900s, we discovered that humans and chimpanzees are genetically more similar to one another than either is to gorillas. And
yeah, but there's things that are, you could take, look, this is like, data, pure data needs interpretation. You could make data say anything. We learned this about statistics during Karunka, right? You could say there's something that's totally unrelated looking to a human that genetically, in some cases, are more similar than apes and humans. So it's like, this is a constant theme with evolution proponents, is that they take similarity in structure or DNA or form, and then they conclude that there's something related. Similarities equals related. But now when you press them on this, they go, well, everything's related. So it's not really saying much. More related, less related, totally arbitrary. Right? Completely arbitrary. Oh, you're more related than this, and we're more related to that. And it's like, that can be true, and you could produce scenarios in which something that is observably dissimilar to humans, you'd have to argue and bite the bullet that it's more related than something that looks kind of human. The point is, the standard, the criterion that they're using, the list of things that they're drawing out as similarities that determine what they call relatedness, you can draw that out from any part of the living organism category. In fact, this is actually how what's kind of funny about this is similar to how the PCR test ends up working, which the creator of warned us about, which is basically said, there's a certain resolution you could look at biological matter and find similarities in structures. And you could just keep amplifying it until you find an overlap of similarity in structure. And then you go, look,
my chickens in?
It's there, whatever you said it was. There it is. We found it. You found what? Structure. Biological structure. We found structure. Okay. How do you eat Cheetos without getting your hands all dusty? They don't call them Cheetos. Cheetos. Nice. Nicely done. Shout out to your son for that one. They don't call them Cheetos. I'm going to tell my kid that one.
That ruined the current taxonomic classification of apes versus humans. It used to be that amongst the apes, there were three families: Hylobatidae, the gibbons; Pongidae, the great apes; and Hominidae, the humans. But that genetic discovery revealed that humans and chimps were one another's closest living relatives, so they couldn't be split into Pongidae and Hominidae and maintain a monophyletic group at all. So all of the great apes were lumped in with humans into a single family called Hominidae. Ape man fell for a similar reason, because saying ape man is like saying canine dog. Dogs are canines. Humans are apes. All of that was deduced on the basics of genetics and has held through as we've come up with multiple complete genomes for members of all of these species.
I use the term ape man, so I understand they don't like it because they want to be sort of more politically correct, you know.
Immediately.
Our theory of evolution has evolved along with the facts of evolution, which have also evolved with random factual mutations, which used to be called mental retardation. The whole thing's evolving. It's always evolving. Anthony, $10, thank you. I descended from mantis shrimp because I can punch really fast and see pretty colors, but I'm not part of the shrimp species. More related to crabs and lobsters, not confusing at all. Thank you so much for that, and Statin Guy for the $5. Appreciate you.
Before this, and I cut it out, he talks about why the change actually happened, due to reclassification. And that reclassification happened on the basis of genetics. So no, it's not about being politically correct, Dr. Line. It's about being regular correct.
What? Regular correct?
That could be
to be clear,
would you debate Bjorn? Well, Bjorn's is kind of a sophist, so I'm not sure what I would debate him on.
When you sequence the entire genome, multiple...
On evolution, Bjorn wants... I still haven't figured out Bjorn. He says he's orthodox, but he's like... He takes all these bizarre peculiar.
All right, I'm at 22, so
multiple times of all of the members of Hominidae, all of the great apes, there is no way to separate out humans exclusively. Humans are apes. That's
George Floyd is an ape. You heard it here first.
just factual. If you want to argue otherwise, at this point, because of the glut of our data set,
Cool. Why can't someone have sex with an ape then?
That's an instant. Okay.
Like, there couldn't actually be something wrong with it. If you're saying humans are apes, the best you could do is some form of consent. But the problem is they're always trying to prove that apes can consent and understand sign language and shit. So it's like, it's kind of funny, their position. They're desperate to be called animals.
Card quite a bit.
They're like, please call me an animal. Please, I'm an animal. You're like, would you like the entailments? Would you like the consequences of that being true if you want that to be true? No. We have to.
I do like that card.
We are animals, and there's nothing really that distinguishes us other than complexity. But we have to pretend that we're more than animals. By the way, your belief structure in Christianity is really bad. I'm sorry. I'm just an ape who evolved to believe in God. What's your problem, lady? Would you debate the homeless guy just outside my house? Yeah.
Another recursion.
He's pissing in my garden. Yeah, you should be able to shoot him with pellets. You should be able to legally shoot homeless people with BB guns.
You have to argue that humans aren't apes on the basis of some non-quantifiable, non-scientific, spiritual reason.
Maybe. Ultimately, she's kind of right there. But even from your view, Gutsick Gibbon, why are you making the distinction?
Combat trick? Or...
If humans are apes and it's a one-to-one, why don't you go up to your nearest black neighbor and I dare you to call him an ape?
As long as this equipment attached to a creature.
In fact, if you called him an ape, Erica, and he said you're racist, you'd have to call him a bigot and say you're just dumb. Okay. So it's like weird to, from my perspective, they keep using these distinctions.
I saw this card from your graveyard.
But then they collapse the distinction, and then you're like, well, why are we talking in different? Why are we speaking of each other in different ways, like ape and human? And then they say, well, no, like human is still the category of ape. It's a subcategory, and it's different.
Why?
Okay, on what basis? If we were animals, then bestiality has no definition. That's correct. That's the consequences. If you push them on the ethics of this, then suddenly Gutsick Gibbon is going to start inserting what she calls right here spirituality, right? Because morality is not found in nature. You can't derive morality from the physical world.
Which is fine, as long as you accept that it isn't scientific. So next, Jess poses a challenge to Peter Line. She's like, I remember when I was a kid, people talked about how the evidence for evolution was overwhelming and how we just have so many fossils. And Peter Line responds by saying, yes, it's true. When you talk to paleoanthropologists, they'll talk about how we've got tens of thousands of fossils, but...
Tens of thousands.
Yeah.
Sounds very convincing.
Yeah. It sounds very convincing, and that's what they rely on at the...
So these changelings must be every color then, right? I mean, it looks like it's every possible color. What color is a changeling? Every creature type. Okay, so it's not every color.
Public will buy into it, but it may not be so convincing when, firstly, a lot of them are just fossil fragments, sometimes of the same creature or human.
Mm-hmm.
But
here's the funny thing about fossils, right? Admittedly, from their perspective, fossils are very rare. And so when you find them, you have to venerate them immediately and put and make the casting of their completion, right? You have to complete the symmetry of the fossils. Now they admit this, right? They admit how rare it is. And they're looking at vertebrae, things with bones. So
we're sitting at 25
I don't know if you guys knew this, but vertebrae, things with spines and bones, make up about 5% of all creatures. So they're already in the minority. But the problem with fossils and the way they present them is they argue evolution happens at the population level. But then they find individual fossils, and then they argue it's evidence of evolution. Well, no, you don't have access to evolution if you're claiming it happens at the population level. You don't have access to the population level. You have access to a particular. Then it brings into question how many particular individuals make up a population. Is it one? Is it two? Is it three? You find a little family. One of them has, a deformity of their skeletal structure, smaller skull or whatever. Look, Islam is producing small skulls every single day.
Based.
Tiny little skulled incest mongoloids. Every day. Right now, there's a tiny little Muslim skull coming out of a hole. Now, let's say it just gets fossilized, right? And in however many years they want, they dig it up and they look at this. Would you look at this skull? I mean, clearly it's smaller and all deformed. got a higher brow. It's got a smaller cavity. We must have evolved from this retarded incest offspring.
The thing is, if someone else can have a different interpretation of them, interpret it differently, using a different worldview lenses, as not that these creatures are not hominin or ape men. Tim White calls them hominids. Then that sort of nullifies the evidence. So
Dr. Line is like, yes, there are tens of thousands, but one, a lot of them are very fragmentary, which that's true, but a lot of them also aren't very fragmentary.
Hey, look. Oh, you look at that human. See that? She just found one, right? There it is, guys.
We've got complete skeletons of these things found in articulation. And then he says, but so long as there are different interpretations, the evidence is, and he uses the word nullified here. That is not true. You could use the same logic with flat earthers right now. They take a different interpretation on the data that tell us the Earth is a globe. But that doesn't mean that they are valid, nor does it nullify the evidence for the globe, because their interpretation is demonstrably incorrect. And the same is true for the creationist understanding of our hominins, as we'll soon see. In sum, it's not good enough to have an alternative explanation. The alternative has to be able to stand on its own.
Evolution doesn't stand on its own, okay? She just admitted, ironically, she doesn't understand this. She just admitted that it's her paradigm of evolution that does the interpreting of the data. You're like, how did you come to the correct interpretation of the data? And they go, well, I used evolution as a paradigm to interpret the data. What? Excuse me? Oh, I see. So you interpreted the data to conclude that it supports your paradigm because your paradigm interpreted the data? Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Does that make any sense to you? Creation and evolution are psyops. We are God. We're always... No, it doesn't make sense, Marilyn. You don't know what you're talking about, lady. Doesn't make any sense.
And it has to be accurate in and of itself. Peter goes on to argue that things are not as they seem. Once you take a closer look, it's not as convincing as, they might have you believe.
Yeah, that's pretty much what evolution is there, lady, Erica. Jimmy says, I was watching one of your response videos to TMM, and I hate that his entire objection to Meyer was just to beg the question in favor of nominalism about mathematics objects. Yeah, there's no arguments. He's just a pithy little guy who I offered $500 to debate, and I didn't hear back from him, so... Why did her voice evolve to be so annoying? I think she knows it's annoying, too. One hit bone, another fiver. Thank you so much, y'all.
Because when you critically examine all of these fossils, things sort of rapidly tend to fall apart.
He articulates correctly that evolution is not anagenetic and that it's a branching pattern.
But you still have to have some creature evolving into this, which then evolves into that.
This is the story of evolution.
Yeah, so on a table here, I have a sort of...
Dr. Line has several crania there before him that he's going to continue to reference throughout the remainder of the interview. The first is a large male Australopithecus afarensis, AL444-2. The second is the type specimen for Homo rudolfensis, which he's going to be calling Homo habilis, which is an interpretation that exists. It's KNM ER1470. And the third is KNM ER3733.
All right, I got to get rid of 3 more cards here, chat. Any Magic players out there have any suggestions? I'm thinking, I don't know about the changelings. Well, they're considered elves, so even if they're in their graveyard, exile this card from your graveyard, create a 2/2 black and green. Okay, sorcery. Choose 2 creatures you control. You draw X card. Chosen creature gets +X, gains trample until the end of turn, where X is the difference between the chosen creature's power. So if I got something that's really low power and something that's really high power, I don't know that. I just don't know that. I don't know that that's. I mean, the trample would really help, but I don't think I'm going to get rid of that. Because I don't really have anything with a high power. I mean, the highest power I got is like 3, I think. Yeah, that's not good, actually. That's probably no bueno. I don't know if I'm going to win this, guys. I don't know if this is going to be a winner. Hey, Killa, what's up? Good to see you. Yeah, I downloaded OBS on my main account. It's still set up, or on my main PC, and I've got it set up on my PC so I can kind of chill in my old man recliner. While I'm still doing some gaming and stuff and still kind of hang out with you guys. So yeah, it's supposed to be PalWorld. I haven't changed the thumbnail. I'm trying to figure out how to change the thumbnail. So I'm sorry about the old clickbait there. For those of you that were expecting PalWorld. My bad. Alright, so let's see.
which is a smaller-brained member of African Homo erectus, Sensuleto, or what we might call Homo ergaster. Essentially, he's created a small sort of mini potential march of progress, because it is true that most paleoanthropologists, myself included, will tell you that Australopithecus the genus beget genus Homo, and the earliest
Beget, it's so funny. They use biblical language.
members of genus Homo were
Yeah, it
really
is kind
primitive.
of funny how they.
What
how
a
they do that.
screenshot.
I'm gonna get rid of that one.
I hate this jargon. It's pretty much all jargon. Look, they animated
We'll go
something.
with
You see this? This
16
is like the
land.
thing that all of them use. Peterson uses this.
All right, let's
they
try it.
find skulls, and then
So Killa, I just trophied. This is my first. This will be my second draft. I trophied my first match. I don't think I'm gonna do well. I'll be lucky to get like 1 or 2 wins on this one, I think.
they find individual things, and then they classify them in some sort of progression. Right? And there's no way to find the same exact skulls with the same features, and there's no methodology they can give you to determine whether or not the way they chronologically set this out is accurate.
At least I got all the mana.
They literally are making cartoons with physical objects, right? They have it in their head that this change happened. They go find skulls, and they put the skulls in the chronological order of the animation that they're making out of skulls. But when I ask them a simple question, okay, how would you know you're wrong about this if you found all the same exact things? Their brain freezes. In other words, how do you falsify it? How do you find all the same exact things, all the same parts, and figure out whether your assumption about it was false? How do you do that? They don't even bother.
Excuse me.
They go, hallelujah. We
See if he blocks.
found things that demonstrate confirmation bias of our story, and we put it in a specific pattern and show it to the public in that specific pattern. They don't think in terms of, well, no, this is just raw data. How would I go about determining if I'm wrong? That's what real science is, lady. The real science is, how do I go about determining that I'm wrong? In fact, a true scientist almost seeks being wrong. That's a true scientist. They're seeking to be wrong. They want to be wrong.
And then the later members of genus Homo weren't. And you could theoretically pick the 3 that he has picked here, although I probably would have picked.
Am I going tomorrow? I'm leaning towards yes. I haven't 100% decided yet. It depends on. I mean, I won't be able to stay if he pulls the same crap he pulled last time and delays and doesn't show up till like 11 or something like that. I won't be able to, because I do have a family member needs me in the afternoon. I'm still a little concerned about Mist, with her surgery and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm debating. So at the beginning of your first main phase, you may pay if you do transform, and this transforms into that with Death Touch. All right, that's enough of that. I don't think I want to transform it. I'll decline. Play that. We're going to do this. We're going to go ahead and do that. And then we're going to go ahead and do this. Go ahead and swing. Alright, opponent does not block and turn.
Different ones. For example, for models like that, when scale actually matters, I would include a male and a female representative of genus Australopithecus. He's got a big male there. The reason I say this is because males and females are dimorphic in this genus, and so it would be helpful to see the smaller, more gracile female crania contrasted with the bigger, more robust male crania. I also probably would have picked K&M ER 1813 for Homo habilis, which is the most complete cranium that requires no reconstruction at all.
Evan Lord says, I was red-pilled by an interesting fact. Horses were domesticated by the Caucasian steppe peoples, modern-day Russia, and the horse became extinct in the Americas during that time. Interesting. I didn't know that.
I say no block on this one.
Oddly, we don't ever see that particular specimen. In 1813, the Homo habilis most complete cranium, and I find that kind of weird for reasons that are going to become clear later.
The speciation of horses happened very fast. That kind of makes sense if, like, their story of the horse. That's, by the way, Evan, there's someone on X who gave me a picture of they gave me the same similar animation, the successive animated chronology of a horse developing. And it was like this little thing, and it developed bigger and bigger and bigger, or whatever. And so it's funny. That was the evidence for them. I was like, well, show me this evidence. How do you determine the horse came from something it wasn't? And they just showed pictures of the assertion. I was like, oh, okay. The evidence is in picture form of the assertion. It was okay, cool. We just drew it. It's like, I think this happened. You're like, show me evidence. And you go to one of those, like,
what are you doing, Finny?
Those Etch-a-Sketches, and you draw it out real quick. And you're like, see? My claim in magnet form. They presuppose the need to find gaps in their chain, which essentially implies a conclusion is assumed. Yes, the whole entire thing is that's what's so funny. They're like, oh, presupping? Evolution is a massive presupp.
But to be clear, if it were me, I would have males and females for afarensis ready to show, and I would have 1813 and 1470 ready for early genus Homo. As for Homo erectus, I think that specimen's fine. Next, Line argues that not all evolutionists think that Australopiths were actually ancestral to genus Homo. There's one guy, Charles Oxnard, who proposes that instead it was a group that was actually hominoids, so technically what he's saying here...
Oh, nice.
See, the thing is, again, this is my critique ongoingly of evolution.
So let's see,
they developed this thing up here, right? You see this? They have this massive category, right? Then they do their work of further categorizing subcategories of things that look similar, right? Oh, look, it's similar. It must converge to a singular thing, and then they do this for all things. And then they develop this thing called Luca, the beginning of all animals from a singular thing. What is it? I don't know what it is. Something. But the problem is it's endless regress. That's why they get so mad when you press them on this.
God hocked a loogie, and that's how life got created.
If you press them outside of their little framed snapshot of time right here, because this is what it is. It's a snapshot of time. They start with the main category, and then they talk about the subcategory.
I think it's going to be 9:05 is when his arraignment's going to be. I mean, it probably isn't going to be very long at all, honestly. So I don't know. Not even sure if it's worth checking out.
Categories, and then they try to convince you from the subcategories. The problem is, once you press them on the main category now becomes a subcategory, right? And that's why they get so mad and they bring up like, well, you're just talking about abiogenesis. We're not talking about that. Well, I'm sorry, evolution proponents. There's no way for you to properly defend evolution if you can't go back in time, because that's what you're assuming, back in time. That's the foundation of your entire position is we go back in time and find common ancestry. Okay? How far? Well, as far as we can, but we got to stop at some point. Well, yeah, the reason you have to stop at some point is because everything leads to the beginning of all things, and you can't possibly coherently defend the evolutionary view if you keep going back in time. Because you have to keep granting yourselves new clades.
Fair enough.
If 10 different animals are in the same clade, then you ask, how did the clade emerge? How did this clade emerge? When does a clade become a clade then? And they're like, then they go like, you don't understand evolution. And you go, yeah, I know. Look, that's not a gotcha.
Explain it to me.
You don't understand evolution? Sure. And you have the opportunity right now to make it clear to me.
Yep.
Still isn't correct, but just for your information. What he says about Charles Oxnard there is true, but what he doesn't say is that was a paper that was put out in 1975 before the overwhelming majority of our fall weeks. And luckily for us, the dead things are repurposed and
Hello, what are you doing tonight on your show? What are we covering?
The only aesthetic is the
Look at her. I mean, it's like a shrine. I mean, this is like funny. This is basically their prayer corner. Like they venerate in different ways. It's really unique. They venerate the dead.
I got the 47 here and
1800s gentleman naturalist aesthetic. Hey there, I hope you like the background. It's composed of things that I've collected over the years, and also gifts that I've received from relatives and friends who think I have an old soul. That's their way of saying that they'll only buy me things that are dead, or a rock, or in some kind of earth tone. I am aware now that you can't really see any of it, and that you can't really see me either. I'm really giving like Miss Bellum from the Powerpuff Girls here, but that's fine.
Powerpuff? What is happening?
What is that?
What?
because I don't want to distract anyways from the actual important stuff,
Target
which is
cards
the
from your
bones.
graveyard.
Luckily, I talk a lot with my hands, at least according to the people that complain about it. Here we have a common chimpanzee male and the face of Paralopithecus catalonicus. The reason I'm starting with these two next to each other, despite the fact that this is a living ape rather than a Miocene ape, is just to demonstrate for you how similar these two guys are craniofacially and craniodentally.
That's cool. So, okay, similarity. Let's just grant her everything about this, that there's a massive age. This is 4,000 million billion years old, whatever, right? Okay? Similarity, right? Okay, similarity. What are you saying about similarity?
It doesn't take a genius or a trained anatomist to see that these two are very similar with...
You know what else is similar, Gutsick Gibbon? Look at a raccoon's hand and look at our hand.
I probably should attack with both. Oh, that was silly of me.
Very similar. If I found a raccoon hand, right, and it wasn't connected to a body.
I wasn't thinking.
Right. And I was like, dude, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like this is the beginning.
I wasn't thinking, chap.
I feel like this is like the beginning of a human. Like,
Perfect.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we found the beginning of
chewing
the baby
on some
human hand.
mushrooms
You know
in
what I
my beef stew. Making lots of mouth noise. Oh my goodness, what is this?
Look at that little hand.
Whenever I land,
I'm convinced.
Uh-oh.
They're so
Alright,
similar.
well,
Look at
not
these two
doing
hands.
anything right now.
She should bring these up. She should bring up the hands.
I think that's
Now,
cool,
it's interesting
though.
because if you point to any given part, you then go, well, no, that's not the same. That's just functionally the same. You go, interesting. Why is it you don't approach all the parts of bodies the same way? Well, look at the skull. Look at this. Look at that. It's like I'm demonstrating that their examination of similarity is totally arbitrary.
All right, so if I do two black,
It's like you'd have to go, well, the part of the raccoon hands and other things that share similar hand functions and structures go back further in time before the ape, and then they're related, right? They were related in their hands, but not their skulls yet. And then they departed, but they kept their hands, but departed and changed everything else in their body. And when you really look at it, it's just this constant change of successive body plans with similar things that are similar. And you could do this endlessly. You could look at any given animal, and eventually you could find something that's similar to something that is unrelated from their view, anatomically.
Regard to their face shape, and yet there are subtle differences that are pretty important. The chimpanzee's got a deeper sulcus behind this brow ridge here, or
not to be out of pocket, but why there's so
I think the pawn's kind of cooked next turn.
many women who really love animals. I think women generally like animals. They like, they're sensitive to cute animals.
Yeah.
Like, they love...
I sent my wife a little goat, like a little baby goat hopping around in a kitchen with a woman doing the champagne. My wife all but melted.
Love them so much they write dirty books. That's true also. They end up being a little bit perverted in the end. And they write weird books, or they'll write like demonic books where you have like an animal partner.
supraorbital torus that's lacking in this Paralopithecus catalonicus specimen, despite the fact that they both have pretty strong brow ridges. If you turn them to the side, you can see that Paralopithecus is actually less prognathic or less snouty than modern chimpanzees are, and that Paralopithecus's canine teeth are...
That's great. Can you go back further?
All I gotta do is attack
I know you like to frame this in this very sort of high resolution point in time, Erica, but people like me who are skeptical, outright denial of evolution, want to know.
All right, I'm already winning as far as I'm concerned because I really was worried that this draft wasn't going to be so good. So there we go. I will take that win and be happy for it.
Where the thing on the left came from. Because if similarity is the thing that you're determining evolution is true from similarity,
my wife loves
you admit, like, I don't know, was it Mark Reed or the other guy debated? They admitted that if you go back far enough, there's something dissimilar completely that is the ancestor. That's why it's so silly. Because their
Can you guys
ultimate
hear me munching on the
appeal
food?
when they talk about fossils and skulls
How bad is it?
is similarity in anatomy. But we already know that similarity in phenotype and anatomy doesn't actually entail relations. We already know that about now, about things now. But the thing is, they don't go back further because if you go back far enough, like if you keep going back far enough, Gutsick Gibbet and all these people have to find something, and they have to be able to say, this is the ancestor of this other skull. And you go, they're not even similar. And she has to go, I know, at some point. And that's why they only stick to similarities.
I need a forest.
But the claim of evolution, you see, isn't reduced to similarities. Because the further you go back in their narrative, in their creation myth, things have to be dissimilar necessarily and still be related, still be the ancestors of the thing you're looking at. That's why this works on people, because they're frozen in time. They are sold the evolutionary paradigm from a very limited perspective of what's considered evolution. Ooh, and and when you go wider, in a wider timeline perspective, it all falls apart. That's why they only have you focus on clear similarities between things that, on the grand scheme of things, honestly, their storyline, their timeline, deep time evolution, their view, this is not even a page in the book, honestly. This is like a sentence. In comparison to the grand scale timeline of evolution, what she's showing you is one sentence in the story. And that's how they sell this to people. You feel cold now? Thank you so much for that. Eli's debating Planet Peterson on the prompt tag debunks atheism. Can you give him some inside baseball on how to mess with Eric? Well, Eric might use rhetorical. He might go Spanky. He has a little doll, and he'll try to pre-sup you back, probably. So he's going to pre-sup you back, Eli. And so the thing with that is, let him do it. Because if he pre-sups you back and he picks up a bottle or he picks up his Spanky doll, and he's going to say this is a necessary precondition for all things, and you go, was that made? He has to say, yeah. And then it's over, right? So you just question him back, because if someone questions you back on God being the precondition for all things, God would necessarily, categorically have to be uncreated, where Spanky the doll has to be created. He actually has a barcode that can track back to the factory, and then the factory can track back to the inventor, and someone actually owns the property rights, the intellectual property of Spanky. So he's probably going to do that, honestly. So prepare for that. You could ask how Spanky accounts for invariant conceptual things like the laws of logic, which are categorically conceptual, necessitate a mind. Does Spanky have a mind? Does Spanky communicate? Caller Warner shows many frauds done. Oh, there's tons of frauds in evolution.
Aren't just larger, but they appear to be, if we flip them upside down, slightly more broad at the base. They're less bilaterally compressed. Keeping them flipped over, differences in the palette are evident if you know where to look. While they both have that primitive rectangular shape to them, as opposed to the parabolic palette that we see in humans, Paralopithecus's palette almost looks as if it's been pinched in, bowing the dental arcade on either side inwards towards the midline or mesially. In the case of chimpanzees, we see that more balloonish but still rectangular palette. The teeth also...
Opponent seems to be trying to figure some things out. Seems a little confused.
So differ. We see cuspier molars that are also overall...
You see what I'm saying? In evolution, I think in a bigger scale than them. They grant themselves this thing has teeth, it has a palate, it has a snout, it has a skull, it has eyes, it has a brain, it has function, it has a spine, it operates, it has internal organs, right? I think that most evolution proponents expect the opposition to kind of get in the muck with this stuff. I don't care about this stuff. Your claim, lady, is that there was a time where this thing you're holding in your hand didn't have that shape. Didn't have the teeth, didn't have a palate, didn't chew, even, didn't have a stomach. What you talking about, lady? I'm not granting you this, Millhouse. Oh, look how similar two things are. That's similar. It's amazing. They're similar. Oh, wow. They're similar. I don't care if they're similar. You got to tell me of how random mutation produced that thing. The whole thing. I don't need your story time about how things are similar. You're not selling me with your little bone pen. Well, when it comes to the skulls, they'll enjoy the synapsid and the diapsid differences and the other similar traits in different domains, taxonomy. They'll employ divergent evolution, hence the world and the old world animals. Yeah, well, it's ultimately the story. They have to tell you, eventually, they have to get into the story time. That's why I'm probably good at debating them. Because everything...
Karma says, okay, the Grand is home. Have a great evening, y'all. Take care, Karma. Thanks for hanging out. Hopefully you had some chill, relaxing time with us.
The thing they're pointing to in the here and now that they have access to, from their view, was produced by some time, some mechanism in time that those things didn't exist. That's why they have such a hard time with the liver question. I'm not granting you a whole body that's operating under evolution. What are you talking about?
Powerful combo.
I'm not granting you populations. I'm not granting you a brain and a heart. I'm not granting you a circulatory system. I'm not even granting you metabolism. Not even that. Not even that. I got into metabolism. I was looking into this. Metabolism itself. Just like, generally speaking, anabolic, catabolic metabolism. Something that builds, something that destroys.
Bring out the
something that breaks down so that it can consume. Something that can build up inside the body
I do that.
and preserve. This happens, right? This happens for organisms. And from the evolutionary view, do they hold the position that random mutation produced the behavior, the mechanism called metabolism? Did metabolism evolve? I asked ChatGPT. Yes, metabolism evolved. From what? Evolving would assume some type of metabolic state. So it's always the chicken or the egg with this stuff. It's like they grant themselves a whole set of things that under their own view have to be produced by evolution, but they can't talk about evolution unless they grant themselves these things. Her little story needs a soundtrack for sure. Jim Bob, a party balloon looks like a hot air balloon, so clearly it evolved from an ancestor balloon. Dude, you clearly know nothing. Right, exactly.
Yeah, Jim Bob, you know nothing.
Alter Void, thank you so much. The Earth is round and the Sun is round, so which one Evo is from which? Oh yeah, which evolved from which? Are we becoming the Sun or the Sun becoming us? Rock on, Gumbooby. Thank you so much.
Larger imperial.
By the way, evolution is prime for the attack, right? We went through, feminism. We went through modernity. Atheism went through the ninja, went through the blades. We got to still attack it, right? Progressivism and all this shit. But evolution is prime right now. That's what I think. I think it's prime. People are starting to question it from a different view, and these people are not doing well in preserving the assumptions of it. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate you. This is off topic. Can you recommend any literature on personal philosophy that supports the notion of separating the artist from the art?
No, actually. Swarm the shit out of me. Not looking good.
That is a good topic, though. Because you'll look at people, you'll see that they're
my opponent is called going wide when you have a lot of creatures like that going very wide.
But then you could appreciate their creation, or at least their effort, or their impeccability even. And then you're like, yeah, but he's a horrible person.
Pithecanthropus as compared to chimpanzees, which probably represents a difference in the diet between these two individuals. These cuspier molars are usually associated with folivory or leaf eating, and at least to my eye, these look a lot more similar to what we would see in gorillas as compared to chimps, which are more frugivorous and omnivorous. Bringing a human into the mix is what really accentuates the differences here. In chimpanzees, we have a really strong brow ridge, really big canine teeth, a very prognatic or snouty face, in comparison to a human who has a really weak brow ridge, if any at all, teeny tiny canine teeth, and a not very snouty face. We call this orthognathic or flat-faced. The Pyrrholopithecus specimen here is pretty obviously on the chimp side of things. I don't think that that's going to be controversial. So in between this guy and this guy, we should see the emergence of all of this guy's characteristics. No?
See what I'm saying? They just use the word emergence.
What time have we got right now?
Emergence is a process. You don't observe processes, right? This is their major problem here. They go, oh, look at this thing and look at this thing. If I insert my narrative, I see emergence. No, you don't. You see two different things that have some similarities and some differences. You don't see emergence. You don't observe emergence.
Lay down, Shadow. You're a good boy.
Yeah, but it emerged. Look, it's emerging. No. You don't see. They say, look, we see the transition between these things. No, you don't.
I think 3 colors is a little bit too much.
The transition.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I probably should have put the those artifacts back
Rest
in
in
there.
peace if you're listening.
He said orthoface.
Listening to this in the car, rewatch it later because there's a lot of good visuals here. We're more focused on Australopithecus today, so I'm going to sort of skip through some of our earliest hominins, but from Sahelanthropus and Ardipithecus from 7 to 4.4 million years ago, we see a reduction in the canine tooth size, a loss of the canine P3 honing complex, which is present in Pyrrholopithecus and all other living apes other than humans, and of course, we see that foramen magnum, or the hole at the base of the skull, shift forward, implying a more upright or orthograde posture, which is of course a necessary brew.
See, this is the problem. Another problem here.
I think I'm screwed,
Look,
boys.
I've got a sharp tooth. We got sharp teeth in that spot, right? We got some sharp teeth there.
I think I might be screwed.
And they're functional, right? There's a use for them. Now, from the evolutionary view, they say, no, yours are derivative. Yours came from this other thing. But they simultaneously say that the thing that originally had the canine teeth developed the teeth. So it's like, wait a second. So you have two stories going.
Protection from each of your opponents?
They go build, and then they go move away. But they have them happen at the same time. You understand? So it's there's an original thing with canine teeth. And they go, and then you ask them, well, we have similar...
This is the only thing I don't like about this game. Like getting mana screwed like this. It's just ridiculous.
You have some sharp teeth, right? And you're saying this is remnant of a previous thing that had bigger sharp teeth. They go, yeah, the evidence is there. And you go, okay, so is everything with sharp teeth come from something that already had sharp teeth? And they go, yeah. And then you go, did sharp teeth evolve from not sharp teeth? And they go, yeah, that too.
Did sharp teeth evolve from not sharp teeth? Yeah, that too.
You know what I'm saying? So they have this like, they almost have this view that there's a pure starting point sort of creature, this archetype that has all the features.
On this one, guys.
And then everything that we see today
absolutely mana F. It's like ridiculous at this point.
From those things and carries forth some of those features. And their explanation is everything that has those features comes from something with those features. Now, similarly, when I ask someone about the snake fangs, right? Look at the snake fangs. Whether it's venomous or not venomous, look at the snake fangs. Did those develop? They go, yeah, well, they inherited them from a previous thing that had fangs. They go, where? Okay, so I'm trying to get to the original fang. Did fangs accidentally develop from random mutation? They have to say yes. Not only that, they accidentally developed in a place that's suitable. And you notice that in the course of time, you never find an animal that accidentally developed fangs on its back. Being that it would be completely random. Notice that there's no fang eyebrows.
Dude, stop.
You notice that there's no B12 venom. This happened to develop something that was good for you. Vitamin C. The vitamin C rattlesnake. Oh shit, I got bit. That hurts like a bitch. Don't worry, it's vitamin C. No, it had to be, what was developed is something very hyper-specific that literally takes apart the insides of mice so it can be digested. That literally incapacitates the neurological system of the animal it's trying to eat. Accidentally!
Oh, he got one of those. Get that too. Nice.
Same thing for everything else she's pointing. Oh, look at.
Can't believe this 3-1 is holding off his entire.
The similarity. Look at the similarity. Look at. I don't care about the similarity, lady.
Yeah, I can't.
Your view is that random mutation produced the things that you're calling similar to begin with. I'm not granting you the things.
Sake.
Not,
all right, guys.
I didn't skip to let's look at what's similar.
This one. Absolutely, man.
That's why they have such trouble with me. Because they're like, no, please look at my myopic view of this. Please. And I go, no, I'm not looking at that. You have to tell me from your evolutionary view how it is that random mutation produces all of these specific types of traits and features among animals that you grant yourself were produced so that you could look at their similarity and then determine we came from another thing. No. That's not how this is going to work with me.
The requisite for bipedalism. In case you want to see the difference, we'll use our chimpanzee as the stand-in here due to its similarities with Paralympigus. We see a much less anterior or forwardly placed foramen magnum that is also angled more backwards because chimpanzees are knuckle walkers. So their head sort of comes out at an angle like this behind the body. This is MRD, or the Australopithecus animensis specimen from about 3.8 million years ago, the oldest Australopithecus animensis.
All right, guys, I'm going to open up these packs. I'm going to head out because my eyes are getting glazed. I think I might go live at 7:30 or around 7. What time is it right now? Hold on, what time is it? Okay, yeah, you know what? I'll go live at 7. I'll have something planned on my main channel at 7 o'clock. We'll see you guys at 7, and we'll give it a shot. We'll see how it works out. And I'm going to go ahead and end the stream now. I appreciate you hanging out. Thanks for helping me test this. I'm glad I got it figured out on my other computer here. It's not quite as good as my other one was, where your guys' comments and stuff. I'll eventually get that figured out. But I appreciate you guys. I'll talk to y'all later, and catch you on the next one.